Harbor out of Solon, Ohio, out near Cleveland. 2006 Swift 016. Chris Montaloni also out on track in the number 47. Chris, one of our F2000 drivers, also making his first start of the season here this weekend. He's out of Fishkill, New York, in his 2010 Carbird DS3. Chris Fahan also out there in the 139, one of our former Continental Championship Series drivers, out of Reading Center, Connecticut, in his 2000 Van Diemen RF 2000. Tim Miner setting the early pace in the number 88 Continental, a 156.758. Carter Sheets second quick in the F2000 03 car at a 201.239. Carter Sheets third quick in the 03 at a 201.6, but it's still early days, just the second flying lap for these drivers. Get a good look at Tim Miner on camera in that number 88 citation. Still leading the way with a 156.758. Those of you here at the track in view of the big screens will see those images. Carter Sheets second quick in the F2000 number 03. Almost 5 seconds back at a 159.8. Devin LeSueur second amongst the former Continentals in the 05. He's another second and a half back at a 201.2. Thomas Fatour second quick amongst the F2000's, fourth overall in the number 95. About 7 seconds behind Carter Sheets' time. Good shot of Rick Silver in the number 26, another one of the Formula Continentals. Currently 7th quick on his third flying lap, a 2:08.139. Right behind him, the 05 of Devin LeSueur, then another of the Continental Championship Series drivers out of St. Charles, Illinois. LeSueur second quickest right now, 57.254, his best time. Tim Minor still leads this session in the number 88 Formula Continental with a 53.708. He's about 3.5 seconds in front of Devin LeSueur in the black 05 at the front of your picture here. Jason Conzo is out there in the only Formula Enterprises 2 here this weekend in the number 4 car. Jason out of Great River, New York. And he jumps up to second quick in just his second flying lap. I'm guessing he's had some laps here at this racetrack. So far, the only Formula Atlantic driver to take to the track has been Harbor Das in the 06, but he's on the pit lane right now. They're making a front suspension adjustment on that car. Timothy Minor continues to show the way to the rest of the field here as he's lowered his time to a 1:51.4, about 2.5 seconds clear of Jason Conso in the number 4 FE2. Devin LeSueur second quick amongst the Formula Continentals in the 0.5. Carter Sheets, the lead Formula 2000 driver, no surprise there as he is the points leader coming into this weekend. But he's only got a 10-point advantage over Bob Wright, who's also out there in the number 90. Bob currently 6th quick, just about second and a half off of Chris Fahan, just in front of him in the 39. Drivers down in the laces of the boot, heading for the toe. Tim Minor out in front of this doublet of cars through the heel of the boot. There's the heel, then a short run uphill again to turn 9. Chris Fahan in the black number 39. Into 10 and then 11, the final turn on the racetrack, bringing them back onto the front straightaway. Harbor Doss in the Formula Atlantic. The 06, just making his way out on track after some suspension adjustments at both ends of the car. They worked on the rear suspension as well, probably changing the right height, I would guess. Tim Miner resets the fast lap of the session, and he's knocking on the door of the 149s, a 150.912 for the last lap for the number 88. He's about 2.5 seconds clear of the lone Formula Enterprises 2 car in the field, the number 4 of Jason Conzo, who in turn is about 3 seconds in front of the lead F2000, the points leader, Carter Sheets in the 03. Devin LeSueur in the second place Formula Continental in the 05 machine. It's only 0.07 of a second behind Carter Sheets. Chris Fahan in the number 39 Formula Continental, just about 12 seconds behind Devin. Bob Wright in the number 90 Elan DP08 USF 2000 car, up to just about half a second behind Chris Fahan. Rick Silver just behind him in the 7th spot in the number 26 Formula Continental. Chris Montaloni in the number 47 F2000 Carter. Thomas Fatur, Harbor Das finally completing a couple laps here. Still a bit off the pace. Joe Colasacco has come out but has not yet completed a lap in the number 2. In the closing moments of this session, Harbor Das goes to the top in the Formula Atlantic. As would be expected, they should be the fastest cars here. A 146.497 on just his 5th flying lap. Tim Miner, who's led most of this session in the number 88 Formula Continental, about 4 seconds back of Das's time. Jason Conzo in the number 4 Formula Enterprises 2, third, another 2.8 seconds back. And Chris Fahan in the number 39 Formula Continental. Carter Sheets in the 03 Formula 2000. Devin LeSueur in the 05 Continental. Bob Wright in the 90 Formula 2000, Thomas Fatour in the 95 Formula 2000. Then Rick Silver in the 26, Chris Montaloni in the 47, Joe Colasaco, and Ryan Sari in the second of the Atlantic 016s has just joined the fray as we're in the closing minutes of this first practice session for our Formula Race Promotions drivers from the Formula Atlantic, Formula 2000, FE2s, and the Formula Continental Championship Series joining us this weekend. Checker flag coming out for this session. We'll wait for the last of the cars to make their way across the line, and then we'll do a final rundown for you in each of the classes represented here in this session. We've got a couple Atlantic Open cars on the entry list, neither of which has come out to play in this first practice session. As it looks like the last of the cars have seen the checkers. So just a quick rundown by class. In Formula Atlantic, Harbor Das in the 06, Swift 016. Quick time of the session, a 1:44.494. Ryan Sari in the number 8 Swift came out late and has not completed a lap. In the Formula 2000s, Carter Sheets in the 03, quickest. His best lap, a 1:56.456. Bob Wright, second fastest among the F2000s in the number 90, a 1:57.641, just about a second and a tenth separating those two. Thomas Fatour was third quick in the F2000s in the 95 car. Chris Montaloni in the 47. Joe Colasaco did not complete a lap. In the Formula Continental Championship Series, Tim Miner was quickest. He led most of this session in the early stages in the number 88 citation. Chris Fahan was second quick in the number 39 Van Diemen. Devin LeSueur in the 05 was third. Rick Silver in the 26, rounding out the 5 Formula Continentals that took part. And the lone FE2 was Jason Conzo in the number 4. We're taking a brief break here. We've got an open slot in the schedule. We'll be back with you with Trans Am and GT practice coming up at 9:45. That's about 45 minutes from now. So stay with us on the stream, those of you here at the track. Andy Lally's going to be taking the safety car out for some video laps, which we'll hopefully be able to include in the broadcast later on this weekend. Welcome to Watkins Glen. Glad to have you with us this first day of the weekend with practice, qualifying, and a race coming up later this afternoon.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Big news for car lovers everywhere. Now you can get NextGen at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. Every NextGen formula is built with advanced ceramic technology, and that means a deep gloss finish, serious protection, and long-lasting durability for your paint. World-class racing teams trust NextGen to protect their race cars under the toughest conditions. And you can trust NextGen to protect your car every day. Find NextGen ceramic protection at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Get ready for race day with Stack Auto Lifts. The world's fastest racers and the most trusted garage lifts come together to elevate every moment on and off the track. From rugged 4-post lifts and powerful 2-post systems to space-saving single-post and scissor lifts, Stack Auto Lifts delivers strength, precision, and performance for every garage. Brought to you by Stack Auto Lifts, created by racers for racers. Proud partner of Race America for the 2026 season.
Welcome to RacingAmerica.tv. From the local short tracks to the road racing stars of Trans Am, we have you covered. Subscribe now for live access to over 200 grassroots races streaming all season long. Watch anytime, anywhere on your phone, tablet, or TV apps. Get a 10-year archive of grassroots races, plus behind-the-scenes NASCAR team coverage. And when the spotlight turns to Trans Am, Racing America brings you front-row access to the action. This is racing at every level. This is Racing America.
Be sure to stop by the Styled Aesthetics merchandise trailer set up in the fan zone. Perhaps it's time to freshen up your Racing America swag or support your favorite series. Check out the new collection of hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and a lot more. In addition, orders can be placed and shipped worldwide at styledaesthetic.com. They're open today until 4:30. Hours on Saturday starting at 8:30 until 4. Sunday from 8 until 3:30. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cube 3 Architecture Trans Am TA2 Pro and Pro-Am Series. Nationally recognized for architecture, interiors, and planning, Cube 3 proudly returns as the title sponsor for the 2026 Trans Am TA2 racing season. From designing dynamic spaces across the country to fueling performance on the track, Cube 3 brings creativity, precision, and passion to everything they do. Cube 3, architecture, interiors, planning, where design innovation meets racing passion. Mission Foods is proud to be the official tortilla and tortilla chip company of Racing America. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission has the products you need to take your race day to the finish line. So keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Now that's too fast, too tasty. NextGen makes the most powerful detailing products on the market today. Working with professional detailers and dealerships for the past 20 years, NextGen brought their line of premium products to the public in 2019 and have been proving their reputation as one of the leading automotive aftercare brands in America. Made in the U.S., all of NextGen's products use the highest level ingredients and cutting-edge chemistry to deliver speed, performance, and value for automotive detailers and DIY enthusiasts. NextGen advanced detailing products can be found nationwide at O'Reilly Auto Parts, as well as online at getnextgen.com. NextGen, the official car care sponsor of Racing America. Once again, just a brief break in the on-track activity. We will be back with you at 9:45 for Trans Am and GT, their first official practice of the weekend. Again, coming up in just about 35 minutes.
You're gonna find that I'm the most boring guy for those questions.
Go to the restroom.
Pray. I always pray every single time I'm in the car.
I pray.
I always like to listen to calm music and calm myself down and get really locked in pre-race.
I always listen to music.
Pray.
Listen to Africa by Toto.
Maybe an engineer.
At home, asleep.
I'd probably be a golfer.
I would be a pilot.
Singing. I think I would be like a watch salesman.
A fighter pilot.
I'd probably work at like a car dealership or something. Just anything with cars.
Probably a golfer.
Trying to figure out how to race. Oh man, I'm just so happy to be here all the time.
It's really hard to find a good cup of coffee.
Qualifying interference.
People sitting on their phones, walking around the paddock, especially when you're trying to drive to grid.
I don't know. I don't have any.
Okay.
I'm a calm guy.
Dirty drivers.
I don't have any. I love being at the track.
Yeah, I can't think of one.
What's your biggest pet peeve about your brother?
He gets annoying sometimes.
I think that says Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's crazy. It's surreal.
MK Technologies started providing us scales 2 years ago. They're a key component. We have to make the platform level so we can measure off of it. And their zero deflection scales make it really easy to level, and the cars don't want to roll one way or the other. They're accurate no matter where the car is placed on them. They're Bluetooth instead of Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi, when you get to a track, you have all the radios, especially if you're at an airport like at Sebring. The radio interference messes with the scales. That's not an issue with Bluetooth. MK Technologies is great to work with. They're very responsive. On our way back from Sonoma, we needed the scales recalibrated. Our truck driver stopped in. They took care of it in 2 hours, got him back on the road.
And up the hill they come. Trans Am Series at Road America. Cam Menard hang with Brabham as they race down the hill now to the braking zone for turn one. So Brabham had gradually built the advantage over Menard. Now Menard is on pit road.
Now this is very unusual to be in the pits changing tires.
Oh, got a car in hard in the barrier. That's Kent Waits. Oh, trouble there. Off the spot, Pintaric's going to get taken out. Coming to the checkered flag to claim his 14th win in 23 tries. Matthew Brabham wins at Road America for CD Racing. There's the green flag. Racing is on down to turn one. Oh. And cars off. That is the 20 car of Seamus McKendry at the end of the straightaway. Race for fourth position here. Noah Harmon put pressure on Gian Buffalmoni. What a great drive Harmon had last Sunday in Indianapolis. Here comes the pack. He's locking it up. Can he make it work? Phillips crosses him over off turn 14.
This battle's not over.
Is that Mesa off the pace?
Oh, yeah.
Mesa's off the pace. The leader's off the pace. He's falling back to third and slowing. The lead changes hands at the white flag. But now, here's the race for the win. It's Alon Day leading Matthew Brabham second as Mesa continues to fall back into the field. Alon Day in victory lane at Road America for his second win of the season.
Trans Am should be taking every opportunity it can to be waving to the world, letting them know we're still here, we still care, we're still racing hard, and that we are different from we're this in between like NASCAR and high tech sports car racing. On the TA2 side, it's the only full-time stock car road racing championship in North America, and that makes it an extremely special, unique platform to train future NASCAR Cup drivers how to race on road courses, and for those drivers to have access to this series at such a young age, it's priceless.
I think we've got 4 drivers that are under 18. We've got another 4 drivers that are under 20. They're all under the DOP program right now.
When you get to that level and you end up with talent fairly equal to each other, even the ones that, when I say they had that little standout talent, now there's a handful of them that had the standout talent. Now they got to beat each other.
Yeah, racing's so challenging. It's a fight against your competitors, and it's a fight against yourself. I love it so much because it's a battle between precision and balls, basically. It's like, how much can you push this race car without spinning out or crashing or hitting a wall or something? I love being on the limit and racing these cars like that.
Every time I talk to one of these real young drivers, teenagers that are here racing these full-size beasts of cars, I think of Dale Jarrett, the NASCAR Hall of Famer, who, in his day, you couldn't start driving a race car till you had an actual driver's license. And it took till you were in your 30s before you could make the top level of say, NASCAR.
Growing up as a kid, I played, basketball, baseball, soccer, all the sports you could growing up. And then I remember for my 6th birthday, my dad got me a go-kart. I remember he walked me down to the garage. He had it in a tarp, unraveled it, and I didn't know what it was. And then I remember he pushed me up and down the parking lot. Didn't even start the motor, and I was just, in awe with this machine. And then later, or the day after, we went to a parking lot, set up some cones, and I did my first kind of little track day in the go-kart. And I don't know what it was, but from that moment on, I was like, this is what I want to do.
Well, now with the go-karts and everything, and the whole world has changed so much, these kids are coming to TA2 at 15, 16 years old, but they've been racing for 10 years.
I feel like I've grown up so quick. I feel like racing has made me be older than I actually am. I'm 19 years old, but sometimes I feel like I'm 25. I feel like just racing ages you so quickly, especially when you're in it for so long. And I've been in it for 9 years now, and I just feel like it's aged me. It's made me be older. It's made me do things that I'm uncomfortable with. It's made me go out and have to shake sponsors' hands of people I've never met before, and just speak to so many different people. So it's really crazy what kind of sport we do, and how different it is from the typical sport.
You're gonna find that I'm the most boring guy for those questions.
Go to the restroom.
Pray. I always pray every single time I'm in the car.
I pray.
I always like to listen to calm music and calm myself down and get really locked in pre-race.
I always listen to music.
Pray.
Listen to Africa by Toto.
Maybe an engineer.
At home, asleep.
I'd probably be a golfer.
I would be a pilot.
Singing.
I think I would be like a watch salesman.
A fighter pilot.
I'd probably work at a car dealership or something. Just anything with cars.
Probably a golfer.
Trying to figure out how to race.
Oh man, I'm just so happy to be here all the time.
It's really hard to find a good cup of coffee.
Qualifying interference.
People sitting on their phones, walking around the paddock, especially when you're trying to drive to grid.
I don't know. I don't have any.
Okay.
I'm a calm guy.
Dirty drivers.
I don't have any. I love being at the track.
Yeah, I can't think of one.
What's your biggest pet peeve about your brother?
He gets annoying sometimes.
I think that says Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's crazy. It's surreal.
MK Technologies started providing us scales 2 years ago. They're a key component. We have to make the platform level so we can measure off of it. And their zero deflection scales make it really easy to level, and the cars don't want to roll one way or the other. They're accurate no matter where the car is placed on them. They're Bluetooth instead of Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi, when you get to a track, you have all the radios, especially if you're at an airport like at Sebring. The radio interference messes with the scales. That's not an issue with Bluetooth. MK Technologies is great to work with. They're very responsive. On our way back from Sonoma, we needed the scales recalibrated. Our truck driver stopped in. They took care of it in 2 hours, got him back on the road.
And up the hill they come. Trans Am Series at Road America. Cam Menard hang with Brabham as they race down the hill now to the braking zone for turn one. So Brabham had gradually built the advantage over Menard. Now Menard is on pit road.
Yeah, this is very unusual to be in the pits changing tires.
Oh, got a car in hard in a barrier. That's Kent Waits. Oh, trouble there. Off the spot, Pintaric's going to get taken out. Coming to the checkered flag to claim his 14th win in 23 tries. Matthew Brabham wins at Road America for CD Racing. There's the green flag. Racing is on down to turn one. And cars off. That is the 20 car of Seamus McKendry at the end of the straightaway. Race for fourth position here. Noah Harmon put pressure on Gian Buffalmoni. What a great drive Harmon had last Sunday in Indianapolis. Oh, here comes the pack. He's locking it up. Can he make it work? Phillips crosses him over off turn 14.
This battle's not over.
Is that Mesa off the pace?
Oh, yeah.
Mesa's off the pace. The leader's off the pace. He's falling back to third and slowing. The lead changes hands at the white flag. But now, here's the race for the win. It's Alon Day leading Matthew Brabham second as Mesa continues to fall back into the field. Alon Day in victory lane at Road America for his second win of the season.
Trans Am should be taking every opportunity it can to be waving to the world, letting them know we're still here, we still care, we're still racing hard, and that we're different from we're this in between like NASCAR and high tech sports car racing. On the TA2 side, it's the only full-time stock car road racing championship in North America, and that makes it an extremely special, unique platform to train future NASCAR Cup drivers how to race on road courses, and for those drivers to have access to this series at such a young age, it's priceless.
I think we've got 4 drivers that are under 18. We've got another 4 drivers that are under 20. They're all under the DOP program right now.
And you get to that level and you end up with talent fairly equal to each other. Even the ones that, when I say they had that little standout talent, now there's a handful of them that had the standout talent. Now they got to beat each other.
Yeah, racing's so challenging. It's a fight against your competitors, and it's a fight against yourself. I love it so much because it's a battle between precision and balls, basically. It's like, how much can you push this race car without spinning out or crashing or hitting a wall or something? I love being on the limit and racing these cars like that.
Every time I talk to one of these real young drivers, teenagers that are here racing these full-size beasts of cars, I think of Dale Jarrett, the NASCAR Hall of Famer, who, in his day, you couldn't start driving a race car till you had an actual driver's license. And it took till you were in your 30s before you could make the top level of say, NASCAR.
Growing up as a kid, I played, basketball, baseball, soccer, all the sports you could growing up. And then I remember for my 6th birthday, my dad got me a go-kart. I remember he walked me down to the garage. He had it in a tarp, unraveled it, and I didn't know what it was. And then I remember he pushed me up and down the parking lot. Didn't even start the motor, and I was just, in awe with this machine. And then later, or the day after, we went to a parking lot, set up some cones, and I did my first kind of little track day in the go-kart. And I don't know what it was, but from that moment on, I was like, this is what I want to do.
Well, now with the go-karts and everything, and the whole world has changed so much, these kids are coming to TA2 at 15, 16 years old, but they've been racing for 10 years.
I feel like I've grown up so quick. I feel like racing has made me be older than I actually am. I'm 19 years old, but sometimes I feel like I'm 25. I feel like just racing ages you so quickly, especially when you're in it for so long. And I've been in it for 9 years now, and I just feel like it's aged me. It's made me be older. It's made me do things that I'm uncomfortable with. It's made me go out and have to shake sponsors' hands of people I've never met before, and just speak to so many different people. So it's really crazy what kind of sport we do, and how different it is from the typical sport.
You're gonna find that I'm the most boring guy for those questions.
Go to the restroom.
Pray. I always pray every single time I'm in the car.
I pray.
I always like to listen to calm music and calm myself down and get really locked in pre-race.
I always listen to music.
Pray.
Listen to Africa by Toto.
Maybe an engineer.
At home, asleep.
I'd probably be a golfer.
I would be a pilot.
Singing.
I think I would be like a watch salesman.
A fighter pilot.
I'd probably work at a car dealership or something. Just anything with cars.
Probably a golfer.
Trying to figure out how to race. Oh man, I'm just so happy to be here all the time.
It's really hard to find a good cup of coffee.
Qualifying interference.
People sitting on their phones, walking around the paddock, especially when you're trying to drive to grid.
I don't know. I don't have any.
Okay.
I'm a calm guy.
Dirty drivers.
I don't have any. I love being at the track.
Yeah, I can't think of one.
What's your biggest pet peeve about your brother?
He gets annoying sometimes.
I think that says Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's crazy. It's surreal.
MK Technologies started providing us scales 2 years ago. They're a key component. We have to make the platform level so we can measure off of it. And their zero deflection scales make it really easy to level, and the cars don't want to roll one way or the other. They're accurate no matter where the car is placed on them. They're Bluetooth instead of Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi, when you get to a track, you have all the radios, especially if you're at an airport like at Sebring. The radio interference messes with the scales. That's not an issue with Bluetooth. MK Technologies is great to work with. They're very responsive. On our way back from Sonoma, we needed the scales recalibrated. Our truck driver stopped in. They took care of it in 2 hours, got him back on the road.
And up the hill they come. Trans Am Series at Road America. Cam Menard hang with Brabham as they race down the hill now to the braking zone for turn one. So Brabham had gradually built the advantage over Menard. Now Menard is on pit road.
Now, this is very unusual to be in the pits changing tires.
Oh, got a car in hard in the barrier. That's Kent Waits. Trouble there. Off the spot, Pintaric's going to get taken out. Coming to the checkered flag to claim his 14th win in 23 tries. Matthew Brabham wins at Road America for CD Racing. There's the green flag. Racing is on, down to turn one. And car's off. That is the 20 car of Seamus McKendry at the end of the straightaway. Race for fourth position here. Noah Harmon putting pressure on Gian Buffamani. What a great drive Harmon had last Sunday in Indianapolis. Oh, here comes the pack. He's locking it up. Oh, can he make it work? Phillips crosses him over off turn 14.
This battle's not over.
Is that Mesa off the pace?
Oh, yeah.
Mesa's off the pace. The leader's off the pace. He's falling back to third and slowing. The lead changes hands at the white flag. But now, here's the race for the win. It's Alon Day leading Matthew Brabham second as Mesa continues to fall back into the field. Alon Day in victory lane at Road America for his second win of the season.
Trans Am should be taking every opportunity it can to be waving to the world, letting them know we're still here, we still care, we're still racing hard, and that we're different from we're this in between like NASCAR and high tech sports car racing. On the TA2 side, it's the only full-time stock car road racing championship in North America, and that makes it an extremely special, unique platform to train future NASCAR Cup drivers how to race on road courses, and for those drivers to have access to this series at such a young age, it's priceless.
I think we've got 4 drivers that are under 18. We've got another 4 drivers that are under 20. They're all under the DOP program right now.
When you get to that level and you end up with talent fairly equal to each other, even the ones that, when I say they had that little standout talent, now there's a handful of them that had the standout talent. Now they got to beat each other.
Yeah, racing's so challenging. It's a fight against your competitors, and it's a fight against yourself. I love it so much because it's a battle between precision and balls, basically. It's like, how much can you push this race car without spinning out or crashing or hitting a wall or something? I love being on the limit and racing these cars like that.
Every time I talk to one of these real young drivers, teenagers that are here racing these full-size beasts of cars, I think of Dale Jarrett, the NASCAR Hall of Famer, who, in his day, you couldn't start driving a race car till you had an actual driver's license. And it took till you were in your 30s before you could make the top level of say, NASCAR.
Growing up as a kid, I played, basketball, baseball, soccer, all the sports you could growing up. And then I remember for my 6th birthday, my dad got me a go-kart. I remember he walked me down to the garage. He had it in a tarp, unraveled it, and I didn't know what it was. And then I remember he pushed me up and down the parking lot. Didn't even start the motor, and I was just, in awe with this machine. And then later, or the day after, we went to a parking lot, set up some cones, and I did my first kind of little track day in the go-kart. And I don't know what it was, but from that moment on, I was like, this is what I want to do.
Well, now with the go-karts and everything, and the whole world has changed so much, these kids are coming to TA2 at 15, 16 years old, but they've been racing for 10 years.
I feel like I've grown up so quick. I feel like racing has made me be older than I actually am. I'm 19 years old, but sometimes I feel like I'm 25. I feel like just racing ages you so quickly, especially when you're in it for so long. And I've been in it for 9 years now, and I just feel like it's aged me. It's made me be older. It's made me do things that I'm uncomfortable with. It's made me go out and have to shake sponsors' hands of people I've never met before, and just speak to so many different people. So it's really crazy what kind of sport we do, and how different it is from the typical sport.
You're gonna find that I'm the most boring guy for those questions.
Go to the restroom.
Pray. I always pray every single time I'm in the car.
I pray.
I always like to listen to calm music and calm myself down and get really locked in pre-race.
I always listen to music.
Pray.
Listen to Africa by Toto.
Maybe an engineer.
At home, asleep.
I'd probably be a golfer.
I would be a pilot.
Singing.
I think I would be like a watch salesman.
A fighter pilot.
I'd probably work at like a car dealership or something. Just anything with cars.
Probably a golfer.
Trying to figure out how to race. Oh man, I'm just so happy to be here all the time.
It's really hard to find a good cup of coffee.
Qualifying interference.
People sitting on their phones, walking around the paddock, especially when you're trying to drive to grid.
I don't know. I don't have any.
Okay.
I'm a calm guy.
Dirty drivers.
I don't have any. I love being at the track.
Yeah, I can't think of one.
What's your biggest pet peeve about your brother?
He gets annoying sometimes.
Welcome back to the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York as we are at Watkins Glen, one of the legendary racetracks in this country. Welcome to those of you joining us on the stream and, of course, all of you here at the racetrack. My name's John Phippen. I'm the PA announcer here. We'll be here throughout the course of the weekend. Alan Bestwick will be joining the stream, obviously, for the racing coming up later this weekend. A doubleheader for both the Trans Am Championship and GT drivers who are on track right now for their first practice session of the day, as well as the Trans Am 2 Championship, as we've got Cube 3 Architecture TA2, 34 cars, I think, on the entry list here this weekend, so a big field of cars in TA2, but Trans Am, these are some of the fastest cars we will see here this weekend. 900 horsepower beasts with no driver aids. It's all down to the driver and the car to see just how quickly they can go around this racetrack. And yesterday, our points leader, Matt Brabham, set the early pace. He was in the 142s, if memory serves. Let me just check here real quick to look at our race results from yesterday's test session. Quick lap in the second session was not quite as fast as he was in the morning session. A 142.7 was Matt Brabham's quickest time in testing yesterday. The lap record is held by his teammate, Chris Dyson. It was set here 2 years ago in 2024 at a 142.785. So already in testing yesterday, we're getting within shouting distance of that kind of pace. Brabham, of course, the points leader, but you know, despite the fact that he's won 6 races of the 7 so far this season, with a rare technical problem at Lime Rock, the only thing that kept him off the top step of the podium there. Paul Menard has been Mr. Consistency with a bunch of second place finishes. At Road America, he finished 4th, which was his worst finish of the season, and that was basically due to a tire failure on that car. So Paul Menard is right in the hunt. He's only 34 points behind. And with 103 points on offer, 108 it would be the maximum on offer at most of these race meetings. That will disappear in a heartbeat if Matt Brabham has a problem. Tommy Dreese, 3rd in the points, not that much further back. He's got 626 coming into this weekend. Dreese's been on the podium a couple times at Road Atlanta and in the first round at Sonoma. His best finish so far this season, a pair of seconds, one at Lime Rock and in our most recent round at Road America. David Pinterick, 4th in the points, just about 20 behind Tommy Dreese. Pinterick on the box at Lime Rock Park and at Road America as well. John DeGainer running a limited schedule this year. He joined us at Sebring and then was back again at Indianapolis Motor Speedway and at Road America. His best finish so far this year, a 5th at Road America. And Amy Ruman, of course, doing a partial season as well, recovering from very serious injuries to her right leg in a non-racing incident in the offseason last year, caused her to miss the finale at COTA, as well as the first 5 rounds of this season, but joined us at Indianapolis for her first race of the season. And then at Road America, had a freak incident in practice where steering arm broke on the car, and she made contact with a tire barrier and did enough damage to the car on the left front corner that they weren't able to get it repaired in time for the race. But Amy was able to get those repairs made, and she's back with us here this weekend at Watkins Glen. David Pinterick setting the early pace, but it's very much early days here. As Chris Dyson second quick, Matt Brabham third, Tommy Dreese fourth, John DeGaynor fifth, Paul Menard sixth, Amy Ruman seventh. All of those from the TA class. Zach Arnold, quickest of our SGT cars in the early running here in the number 72. Chris Coffey in the number 97 Ferrari, second quick in SGT. Milton Grant and Jesse Schmidt also in the SGT class. Couple GT cars here this weekend. Derek Carter, the points leader in the 24, and Michael Saya in the number 13 here as well. I'm joined in the commentary booth by my co-commentator here this weekend, Ben Sissel. Ben, glad to have you alongside.
Absolutely love it. So excited to be here at Watkins Glen as we see three of our huge monsters here. Chris Dyson, John DeGaynor, and Matt Brabham go through the toe of the boot at Watkins Glen. And it's an honor to be at Watkins Glen. This is just such a historic track. And actually, my two sons are here. We had some of this gym soda yesterday. It's really good. 15 grams of protein.
Nice.
And then John DeGaynor, is the Mid-Ohio announcer. You've seen DeGaynor and his dad for years out there racing. So it's just
mostly
great to
in
see
vintage.
these cars.
Yeah, it's great to see John dipping his toe in the Trans Am class here this season.
Looks like Derek Carter coming in.
Kind of slow on the pace there.
I was showing my sons. They went around with me to set up these brake markers you see here on your right. And I was showing them the pit in here is real dangerous because you have to clearly tell drivers you're pitting in, you're coming into the pits, because it's also the apex of turn 11, the last turn. So if the driver is trying to set up his fast lap and you're slowing down to come into the pits, you got to clearly indicate that.
Yeah, exactly, because that pit entrance is right on the racing line there. So it's kind of a tough little transition to make. And then, of course, into the inner loop here, or known as the bus stop. That was put in after Tommy Kendall's big accident in IMSA competition many years ago. Used to be a straight shot. You're right through there, and this was a very, very high-speed turn here, the outer loop, as they call it.
Well, we've seen that a lot with the tracks. Is when these tracks were designed in the 50s, they never imagined 200-mile-an-hour cars.
Oh, sure.
So they had to do some things like the Mulsanne Straight at Le Mans. They've just had to do some things to change that. And we see here the 20 of Chris Dyson just staying behind John DeGaynor. I wonder what Dyson's trying to figure out or what he's trying to do. Here he goes.
Get a little drafting practice as he's going to dump in there at the heel of the boot as they go side by side in a short uphill climb up to turn 9.
I think Chris was just kind of waiting to just make sure John saw him, and John saw him and gave him room and made the pass. Because, again, like you said, this is just practice. This is more I've been in race control during Trans Am practices, and I've seen Andy and Tim wring their hands like these cars should be giving each other all the room in the world during practice and even qualifying, But sometimes the drivers want to go out there and see how their nose reacts behind another car. And that might be what Dyson did, and he might be coming in, actually, to make an adjustment.
Yep.
Like maybe he was loose behind a car.
Exactly right.
So it truly is practiced in all situations. A lot of other times I've seen drivers go out there and see what curbs they can hit and what curbs are really going to disrupt. So they go out there and they do things that look kind of violent or aggressive because they're just kind of seeing what they can do with a car.
Andy Lally made a point to the competitors here that they've reprofiled the curbs at the bus stop. They're not nearly as aggressive as they have been, and so you're going to see these drivers using those curbs really to their best example to work their way through that bus stop chicane. You can see they're in the pit lane. Chris Dyson's car coming under the attention of the CD Racing crew. His teammate Matt Brabham is already into the 142, so 142.020, and that is under the lap record in practice time. So Matt Brabham throwing down a marker here. Paul Menard, second quick at the moment in the number 3 Pittsburgh Paints machine, just about 2.5 seconds behind Brabham's pace at a 44.3. Chris Dyson in the pits is third quick. David Pinterick, Amy Ruman, Tommy Dreese, and John DeGainer for the Trans Am field. Chris Coffey, quickest of our SGT drivers. Zach Arnold, second in SGT. Third in SGT, Jesse Schmidt. And then Milton Grant rounding out the 4-car SGT field. And then 2 GT cars this weekend, Michael Saya and Derek Carter.
Nice. And 2 totally different GT cars. You get a big, powerful Mustang with Derek Carter, and then Michael Saya's in more like a Porsche Cup car.
Yeah.
And this is one of those tracks, we've talked about this throughout the season. It's got its twisty bits, but it's got some long straights. I'd say on this one, Derek Carter might make out well, but that carousel, the toe of the boot, you know, they might find each other on track quite a bit.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that.
In near perfect conditions. You were saying that we're under the track record already, but it looks to be about, mid-70s. The smoke has cleared. Yesterday we couldn't see the beautiful glens in the distance, but today we can. And so we're going to see some times dropping here, John.
Yeah, of course, the forecast for tomorrow is not as bright and sunny, although it's been changing as the weekend goes. It looked like we were going to have a day full of thunderstorms tomorrow, but the weather has mitigated a little bit. It looks like we might have some rain, but if we can stay away from the thunder, we'll be able to run, obviously. The only thing that shuts us down is active lightning in the area. So hopefully we'll keep it on the black part as the weather will cooperate. Good shot of Tommy Dreese in the trench shoring number 8.
We've had some great rain races here in Watkins Glen. Just a few years ago, Justin Marks, who is a very talented rain driver, won a race in the rain in a TA car. And a TA car, and I've seen this, there isn't a rule. A lot of times, depending on the track, the TA drivers will pull a plug or two just to get some more traction, and there isn't a rule against that. And
you can't have traction control, but
yeah. So that's kind of a way to do it. But he didn't do that. But I bring that up because it was raining very hard. He had almost zero visibility, but was able to navigate around it. And so a lot of drivers, we were talking to Jesse Schmidt last night, and his first race was at Lime Rock in terrible rain.
Right.
He had never raced in the rain. He bought his first set of rain race tires that morning and then went out and won the SGT race. So you never know. It was almost like a hidden talent he didn't know he had.
Yeah, Lime Rock was a real interesting weekend as we had lots of rain for both of the classes, and it's always great to see these TA cars in the rain because it really is down to the driver. You know, all that 900 horsepower isn't of much use if you can't get it down to the racetrack. So that's all down to the skill of the driver to modulate that throttle and take advantage of the whatever grip there is there. But they kick up some serious rooster tails. I was talking to one of the local track workers yesterday, and he tells all his friends, if it is going to rain, this is the weekend to come because these Trans Am drivers are fearless in the wet, and they will run,
and
rain or shine.
Watkins Glen is a different track because and Trans Am has run street courses. When I watched Trans Am as a kid, it was a lot of street courses.
Yep.
Watkins Glen, other than minus a few places, there's walls on both sides of you all the way around. So it's like a smooth street course.
Yeah, there's not a lot of runoff, and it's one of those racetracks that it will cost you if you make a mistake here. So
I heard you as I was riding my scooter up here calling Paul Menard Mr. Consistency, and I'd have to agree with that. He never gets real heated on the radio.
Yep.
There's been times where I've thought I was going to put the mic into him and he was going to be really angry or upset. Not at all.
Yeah.
he's the same pretty much when he wins a race or when he gets on the podium or when he goes out with a mechanical. And in some ways, I feel like that makes for a really good race car driver or like a fighter pilot or somebody that doesn't get worked up. But I also find that to be a weird combination with, his team owner's Paul Gentilozzi. And, as a Trans Am fan,
the polar opposite.
He's different. And either, angry or happy, Paul Gentilozzi's always going to give you a great interview.
Yeah.
And so in that way, they're kind of the same. But it's a neat team. And, Paul Gentilozzi, Paul Menard, they've had a long-time friendship, I think over 30 years. All the 3GT team have been with Gentilozzi and Rocket Sports. Some of them have been there for 50 years.
Yeah.
So it is a family, and the dynamics there is just crazy. But, I would say, and Paul Gentilozzi's worked with the best, but he loves the approach that Paul Menard brings to this and the longtime friendship that the Menards and the Gentilozzi's have had. But Mr. Consistency, that's a great nickname because Paul Menard's one of those drivers that if you said, hey, I really need you to go out there and hit a 2-minute flat every lap, he'll do it.
Sure.
Within a tenth. He'll just be, he could do that no matter what the conditions are. And that's at Pittsburgh Paints and Stains, 2-time champion.
2-time and defending champion.
Yeah. You could see there, what do they call that? The vortices off the back wing? And sometimes the perfect conditions, sometimes you can see little, basically I call them tornadoes off of the back wing. And I saw one there come up.
Yeah, if the humidity is just right, they'll come off the corners of the rear wing. You can see he's got to use that, or he chooses to use that pit entrance lane through that final turn 11. So like you say, getting into the pits is a little dodgy here.
David Pinteric coming up through the Mission Foods section.
Up through the S's, one of the legendary parts of this legendary racetrack.
Yeah, every track kind of has its thing. And when I picture Watkins Glen, I picture those uphill S's.
Yeah,
the corkscrew at Laguna Seca, Madness at Mid-Ohio.
Yep.
But that one, and look, you could see like it's not so bad going over the curbs, but you still see them using the curbs and jumping. But man, when they had those turtles out there, they were destroying cars.
Yeah, no question. Derek down into the laces of the boot.
Now, if you're a NASCAR fan, you may be unfamiliar with this part of the track.
Right.
This is kind of the part of the track that really separates the drivers from the racers.
Yep.
And, the short track, the short course is a very quick track, but that toe of the boot, that can cost you a second or gain you a second.
Right.
Depending on how good of a driver you are. And it is very deceiving because it's a much more downhill, much more uphill than it looks.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to get correct.
Yeah, as we say frequently, video does not do it justice as the amount of vertical at this racetrack or any racetrack for that matter. So, yeah, it's definitely got a lot of ups and downs. Big Derek, nice line through the final turn. I see some smoke out of Mr. Pinteric's car. That is not a good sign.
Yeah, you're right. Is that tire rub or engine? That looks engine.
Yeah. And he's going to pull off here.
If he can make it behind that orange cone, just if he could go another 22 feet and to the left, they might not have to go full course yellow here. But no, I'm seeing liquid.
Yeah.
Is that liquid or is that tar? I
think
tell.
That's liquid, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I was just talking to him this morning because he's just had some rough luck.
Yes.
So we've got a standing yellow at turn 1. He's at least in a place that's very visible.
Yep.
And our camera operator there is doing a great job of just trying to see if there's an oil line, so we appreciate that because this live broadcast is also being broadcast in race control, so Tim and Stan can see what we're seeing. David Pinteric, I don't know if there's a nicer person in the paddock.
Yep.
Great driver, and it's just one of those, sometimes it's just somebody's year in the barrel, and it seems like it's his year of just bad gremlins, bad luck.
Yeah, he's had a couple podiums already this season, but, it's just been one issue after another that's kept him off the top step of the podium for sure in that Kreider Racing number 57, the Bird's Eye View project.
Kind of from your area, Youngstown, Ohio.
Yep. He and Amy Ruman, both Ohio-based. Amy up in Stowe.
Now I'm going to have that Bruce Springsteen song in my head all day. There's Milton Grant in that number 1-5. Milton, Carey, and Richard Grant are all here this weekend. It's great to see them.
Yeah. Milton's the only one running in the SGT class. The other Grants will be racing in the International GT.
There's Michael Saya. Michael Saya, great guy. Love having him out here. Oh, there goes David. He pulled in right where we needed him to.
Yep.
Thank you. But, yeah, he is leaking. You can see there it kind of pulled up. Michael Saya does Lime Rock, does Watkins Glen with us. I love having him in the paddock. I wish he could do more. And then last year, I believe he was at VIR with us.
Okay.
So he kind of stays up in the northeast area, I guess.
Yep.
But there's Michael Saya there in that number 1-3. He's running in GT. So that's the car that we're going to see with Derek Carter. Derek Carter in that big Mustang. And now it looks like Milton Grant coming in.
Yeah, we're in the final 3 minutes of this session, 3.5 minutes. Both.
Black flag all, John.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing on the radio. I'm guessing they're going to go grab David Pinteric's car. Two cars under the lap record, Matt Brabham and Paul Menard, both under Chris Dyson's 2-year-old lap record.
Wow.
Dyson right behind those two, third amongst the runners in the Trans Am class. David Pinteric, despite his issues, set the 4th fastest time. Tommy Dreese 5th, Amy Ruman 6th. John DeGainer bringing up the 7th spot in the Trans Am drivers. In the SGT, Chris Coffey in the Ferrari, number 97. Was quickest. Zach Arnold in the number 72 Porsche in 2nd spot. Jesse Schmidt in the number 91 Porsche in 3rd spot. And Milton Grant in the number 15 Porsche in 4th of the SGT drivers. Michael Saya in the number 13 Porsche was the quickest of the GT cars. And then Derek Carter in that Mustang, number 24. Only turned that one lap that we saw. He came right into the pits after his only flying lap.
It's amazing, though, John, that we keep year after year, event after event, breaking records. And then to do that in practice, because usually they're out there on scrub or, older tires.
Sure.
So I'm sure in qualifying we're going to see new records being broken from this record. And but that's just kind of, it shows, especially in this Class TA, these two cars you see here, the work that Chris Dyson's team, that 3GT, that Dreese, all these teams do, Ruman, even, everybody, the work and development that they're doing on these cars is giving that extra 1/10 of a second or,
Yep.
And that's what's bringing these records down. So here's our results, John.
You can see Matt Brabham and Paul Menard at the top of the order as they have been in the finishing order virtually all season. Chris Dyson only running a limited season this year. His business commitments, taking precedence. So he's turned the reins over, if you will, to Matt Brabham as the lead driver in that Dyson racing team. But he's still 3rd quickest. David Pinteric 4th, Tommy Dreese 5th, as you can see. And then Amy Ruman and John DeGainer rounding out the Trans Am cars. Chris Coffey, they're in 8th spot, the first of the SGT drivers in that Norwood Auto Italia Ferrari. Zach Arnold and Jesse Schmidt rounding out the top 10. Milton Grant, the last of the SGT drivers, and then Michael Saya and Derek Carter, the 2 GT cars in the field. So don't go far, as we have got a full slate of practice, qualifying, and a race yet today. Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series, first official practice, coming up next. I'm John Phippen, and he's Ben Sissel. We'll be with you throughout the day.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Haggerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, all for less than a set of race tires. Haggerty, let's drive together.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Big news for car lovers everywhere. Now you can get NextGen at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. Every NextGen formula is built with advanced ceramic technology, and that means a deep gloss finish, serious protection, and long-lasting durability for your paint. World-class racing teams trust NextGen to protect their race cars under the toughest conditions. And you can trust NextGen to protect your car every day. Find NextGen ceramic protection at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Get ready for race day with Stack Auto Lifts. The world's fastest racers and the most trusted garage lifts come together to elevate every moment on and off the track. From rugged 4-post lifts and powerful 2-post systems to space-saving single-post and scissor lifts, Stack Auto Lifts delivers strength, precision, and performance for every garage. Brought to you by Stack Auto Lifts, created by racers for racers. Proud partner of Race America for the 2026 season.
Welcome to RacingAmerica.tv. From the local short tracks to the road racing stars of Trans Am, we have you covered. Subscribe now for live access to over 200 grassroots races streaming all season long. Watch anytime, anywhere on your phone, tablet, or TV apps. Get a 10-year archive of grassroots races, plus behind-the-scenes NASCAR team coverage. And when the spotlight turns to Trans Am, Racing America brings you front-row access to the action. This is racing at every level. This is Racing America. Welcome to RacingAmerica.tv. From the local short tracks to the road racing stars of Trans Am, we have you covered. Subscribe now for live access to over 200 grassroots races streaming all season long. Watch anytime, anywhere on your phone, tablet, or TV apps. Get a 10-year archive of grassroots races, plus behind-the-scenes NASCAR team coverage. And when the spotlight turns to Trans Am, Racing America brings you front-row access to the action. This is racing at every level. This is Racing America.
Innovation meets adrenaline with Cube 3 Architecture. As title sponsor of the Trans Am TA2 Pro and Pro-Am Series, Cube 3 helps power one of North America's most competitive racing platforms. This partnership, years in the making, unites world-class design expertise with elite motorsports performance. For the 2026 season, Cube 3 continues to accelerate the growth and future of Trans Am's TA2 Series. Cube 3 Architecture, bringing design innovation and racing passion together. When it comes to race day performance, safety, and reliability, Furia Corsa has you covered. Professional preparation keeps you safe, engineering keeps you up front, and quality support keeps you on the track. For more information, go to FuriaCorsa.com, the authorized prep service company for SVRA and International GT. Gearhead Coffee is built on passion and supports enthusiast-driven experiences that connect car culture, motorsports, and passionate communities nationwide. Gearhead Coffee's mission is to serve this amazing industry one cup at a time, fueling memorable experiences both on and off the track. For more information or to place an order, visit GearheadCoffee.com. Gearhead Coffee, by the way, now the title sponsor of the Haggerty Cars and Caffeine Car Show, powered by Gearhead Coffee. Garage Living transforms garages into high-performance, fully customized spaces that reflect the passion of automotive enthusiasts everywhere. Driven by precision, craftsmanship, and attention to detail, just like in racing, Garage Living creates spaces worthy of what you love to drive. Visit GarageLiving.com, the official garage makeover company of Racing America. Welcome back to Watkins Glen as our TA2 drivers making their way on track for their first official practice session of the weekend. They had some testing sessions here yesterday to work the kinks out and get these drivers familiar with the racetrack here at Watkins Glen. I'm John Phippen alongside Ben Sissel, as we'll keep you up to speed on all of the sessions on the calendar for today. This will be our first and only practice session for Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series prior to their qualifying session coming up this afternoon. They'll take the track at 3:05 for that qualifying session to set the grid for the doubleheader here this weekend. We had a doubleheader out at Sonoma. This is our second doubleheader of this 2026 racing season.
If it were up to me, John, I would tell all the drivers that every weekend is a doubleheader, and then come Sunday maybe be like, oh, just kidding. Because it seems like that Saturday race is some fantastic racing because they're trying to save their equipment for the Sunday race.
Exactly right, yeah. Yeah, it's not quite as argy-bargy as we've heard them say because, you know, like I say, they want to save the equipment and have something for the second race of the weekend.
We saw the Tovos We have two twin brothers who are celebrating their birthdays this weekend here at Watkins Glen. And they're so competitive that I believe Ethan was born first, so he wants to have his birthday celebration 3 minutes before Jackson.
Aha, okay then.
Their first measurement, like any good teammates, is how do they measure against each other every race, and then they consider what the other drivers are doing.
Yeah. But task number one is to beat my brother. Yes, indeed. And you said we have two sets of twins here this weekend?
No, just this set of twins.
Yeah, I got you. Twins are by definition two, yes.
Yeah, sorry. They come into Mission Foods turn one. Speaking of Mission Foods, our friend Juan Gonzalez is here with Mission Foods this weekend. Great to see him in the paddock. He's hosting a little party tonight for us with International GT, but the whole paddock is invited. But I really like the look of that car we're focused on there, that Dick's Sporting Goods Ethan Tovo car. I believe that's Ethan in the number 10.
Yeah, Ethan's in the 10 and Jackson in the 30. The 10 with the Dick's Sporting Goods livery, and the 30 with the Pilot Travel Centers as their sponsor. Both those drivers for the Nitro Motorsports team. In testing yesterday, the current track record holder, Tristan McKee, who set it here a year ago at a 149.077. Tristan making his first start in the TA2 Series this weekend at a track at which he holds the track record, and he was quickest in both test sessions yesterday. So Tristan is going to be a factor here.
Yeah, it was last year, about 3-4 weeks before this, that he just went on his run.
Yeah.
You know, kind of starting at Mid-Ohio sports car course, and then it just continued throughout the season. So again, this is just practice. So you see cars kind of pulling over. You see cars doing different things. That was Tristan McKee there, just trying to put some heat in the tires. Joe Federal joined us last night at our event at the Ill Eagle. And we call him Metric Joe out there in between the Tovo brothers. There's Jackson Tovo in the number 30.
So why is Joe known as Metric Joe?
Well, I think because his data was in metric. So they had to, and they couldn't figure out how to get it in miles per hour, so they were constantly having to do the math.
Kilometers per hour.
And he's the only driver I know to have his nickname different on both sides of the door. So on one side it's Junkyard Joe, and on the other side it's Metric Joe. But a funny story yesterday, Billy, their crew chief, they had a bet at the last race, and Joe Federal lost the race, and he had to wear a Georgia Bulldog shirt the whole day, and he's a South Carolina fan.
Gotcha.
So anytime, you know, I'm from SEC country, so somebody wears a Bulldog shirt, you go Dogs, or you bark at him, and he had people barking at him all day, and he hates that because he's a South Carolina fan.
Of course, he lives in Austin, so he ought to be a Longhorns fan.
Yeah, he should be. But it's great to have him here. That Fast Auto group, not only are they fast, but they have a lot of fun. If you hang out in their paddock, they're having just as much fun as they are competitive. And Doug Winston, who's here in screen right there, he's part of that Fast Auto group with TradeMentor.org. You can see Tovo trying to get around him.
Yeah, Ethan Tovo using up all the track and then some. These drivers that have run NASCAR or ARCA here. NASCAR is very, here at Watkins Glen, very lax about track limits. Not the case here this weekend. Track limits are a factor. So these guys, especially coming down here into turn one, are used to going way off into the paved runoff. And they're not going to get away with that here this weekend. Just like that. That will be, that will be a off-course excursion, if you will. And penalties can be assessed if that gets to be a repeat offender, especially if you gain a position. So
there's the car of Tanner Reif with Silver Hair Racing. Great driver. Great to have them in the series with Power Gen.
Yep.
But Elio Meza up to the top here, followed by Gavin Gleitzman.
Mesa with a 48.9 so far. that track record that we're talking about, a 49 flat. So Elio Mesa already under the lap record. So once again, qualifying this afternoon is going to be fun. It'll be a little warmer this afternoon, although the temperatures are very, very reasonable. It's not even 70 here yet, 69 degrees, what we're showing for the ambient temperature. And so it'll be a little warmer this afternoon. And if the Trans Am was any indication, yes, the times we saw, once again, everybody's using up the overrun there at turn number 1. They'll have to get that settled in before the race gets started.
Now, there's always stories within the stories.
Yep.
This is the first race. It was great to see my friend Tristan McKee back in the series. You know, he was just so good.
Right.
And he basically dominated the second half of the series season last year, won the championship. This is his first time back. He's back to see how he measures up against Elio Mesa. So I almost wish we had a camera down there in the pits, just watch it, because I'd love to know when they alerted Tristan McKee that his record was just broken by Elio Mesa, because I think we're going to see Tristan McKee put down some fast laps here. He was fast in the first sessions yesterday, and so they're teammates. Right. They're sharing data together.
Yep.
They're going to it's one of those things that's the weirdest thing, because your harshest competition is going to make you better.
Yeah.
And it's going to motivate each other. Oh, and here's Tristan McKee there. We got a great shot of him, but he's off somewhere waiting, so he's not going to be able to get out there and break this record. Turn 9.
Turn 9, yeah. Right at the top of the boot.
I appreciate that he stopped there, though, because I think they're going to be able to just throw a local yellow out there and then hopefully go get him at some point.
Tristan has run here with NASCAR, of course, and they don't use the boot. So he's down there in uncharted territory, perhaps.
Well, he broke the record here last year.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He knows that
part.
part.
He knows his way around, no question. A couple cars coming into the pit lane for some adjustments. That's what these practice sessions are for, to maximize the setup for the drivers.
There's Cale Phillips and Doug Winston going at it. Lainey Bice, another one of the Team SLR cars. This is her first time here. I was speaking to her dad yesterday, and he even said that she's gotten limited sim time. So she's kind of very green, new to the track, and you see her hanging it all out there through the bus stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the Roaring Pines on the side of her car, as well as Sunoco. Roaring Pines is a great new racetrack that's going to be coming into the St. Augustine area here in the next few years.
Okay.
Very excited about that.
Yeah.
And there's Doug Winston with TradeMentor.org, just ahead of Lainey Bice.
With the red, white, and blue paint scheme. Very apropos for this July weekend here at Watkins Glen, celebrating our nation's 250th birthday.
Oh, Pat Wilson Graphics is in our comments. She's saying, it's interesting about Joe Federo's nickname. I paint his helmets for him. Wow.
All right.
We have a car off at turn 8.
Yeah, that's the heel of the boot.
Okay, so Lainey looks like she's coming in based on the body language of the car. Yep. A lot of cars are coming. I think they're seeing the cars off, and they're like, they're going to go full course caution. Might as well come in, make some adjustments. That's what these practices are for.
Yep, black flag all was just called. They'll be bringing everybody in.
So, John, knowing Tristan McKee, I don't know if anybody from SLR has radioed to him that Elio Mesa just broke your record from last year. But he is more frustrated that he's sitting on the side of the track right now than probably any other driver could be.
Yep.
He's just such a competitive person, and he needs the practice. It's been a while since he's been in a TA2 car. And he did the fastest laps yesterday in practices.
Yep.
So this is going to really eat at him. There's Gavin Gleitzman, who's
second quick. Yeah, he's only 0.4 of a second behind Elio. At our 49.5.
Lostowski
is third quick. Elon Day, Elio's teammate,
who has won twice this year now.
Absolutely. Gian Buffalmonte in the 5th spot. Laney Bice in the 27. In 6th, Jackson Tovo in the 30. In 7th spot, brother Ethan just behind him. So Jackson has the upper hand in the twins battle. Roberto Sabato in the 61 is 9th. And Jace Denmark also making his first start of the weekend, or the season, I believe, in the number 68 in the 10th spot.
No, Jace has been with us.
Has he?
Yep. Yeah, he's with TRB now, but Jace a very good driver. I was looking at Seamus McKendry coming in, the number 29 car.
You're right. Yeah, Jace has definitely been with us. My bad. He raced with us at Sebring, rode Atlanta, and both weekends at Sonoma. He missed Lime Rock, but he's been with us at IMS and Road Mare, so I am not to be trusted.
So here's the black flag rules. If the cars come into pit lane, you can see our friend Will Huxtable there in the orange hat. He's standing in front of Alon Day's car in the fast lane of pit lane. So Alon, no adjustments needed. He wants to get back out there. So we release these cars first, the cars that are on, to the right that we're looking at. So you see Adrian coming down, and so far it looks like he doesn't want to duck in, but he might be a further pit box. But Alon will get released first, and Alon would love to go out there and try to beat Elio Meza's time.
Yep.
And then we release the other cars that went to go work on their cars. So like you see this car here, Laney Bice, to the left, just next to Alon and her teammate. She can't release with them. She has to wait until they release her. And you see Will running somewhere. Oh, trying to stop the car from coming out. That was a good catch there, Will Huxtable.
Car coming down the grid lane. They're right behind the hot pit boxes.
Here comes Roberto Sapato.
Let's take a quick break while we're recovering the car of our Lapper record holder, Tristan McKee, and we'll be back with you with more coverage of this practice session for Cube 3 Architecture TA2.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Haggerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Haggerty, let's drive together.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Big news for car lovers everywhere. Now you can get Next Gen at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. Every Next Gen formula is built with advanced ceramic technology And that means a deep gloss finish, serious protection, and long-lasting durability for your paint. World-class racing teams trust NextGen to protect their race cars under the toughest conditions. And you can trust NextGen to protect your car every day. Find NextGen ceramic protection at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Get ready for race day with Stack Auto Lifts. The world's fastest racers and the most trusted garage lifts come together to elevate every moment on and off the track. From rugged 4-post lifts and powerful 2-post systems to space-saving single-post and scissor lifts, Stack Auto Lifts delivers strength, precision, and performance for every garage. Brought to you by Stack Auto Lifts, created by racers for racers. Proud partner of Race America for the 2026 season.
Welcome to RacingAmerica.tv. From the local short tracks to the road racing stars of Trans Am, we have you covered. Subscribe now for live access to over 200 grassroots races streaming all season long. Watch anytime, anywhere, on your phone, tablet, or TV apps. Get a 10-year archive of grassroots races, plus behind-the-scenes NASCAR team coverage. And when the spotlight turns to Trans Am, Racing America brings you front-row access to the action. This is racing at every level. This is Racing America.
And the recovery work has concluded. We're releasing the cars back out on track. We've got about 6.5 minutes remaining in this practice session. This will be the last practice session before qualifying later this afternoon. Trans Am and GT qualifying at 2:20, and then Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series at 3:05 this afternoon. John Phippen, Ben Sissel here with you once again as we're following this practice session for Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series. Elio Mesa under the old lap record set by Tristan McKee just a year ago.
We see Alon Day and Adrian Lostowski leading the field through. Then there's Elio Meza, Laney Bice. Coming through the Cube 3 Architecture bus stop, and I want to give a big shout out to our friend Nick Middleton. There's Jace Denmark there.
Yep.
Nick, we miss you. It's so rare for Nick not to be in the paddock with us in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series. So we miss having you here, but can't wait to see you soon. So coming down, this is a steeper downhill than it looks, and then you have a cambered uphill turn. So the drivers that understand that balance, that they're going to have some speed scrubbed off because that's a lot more severe uphill than you can see on the screen. And the people that can get the toe of the boot correct, the laces to the toe to the heel, they can usually gain about a half a second.
That's the heel of the boot as they're coming up the hill toward turn 9.
Everybody kind of going a little bit slowly until they can get some heat into the tires. Go see. Now you can see Alon's onto the loud pedal.
Yep.
Adrian Lostowski might be taking his time a little bit, give himself some space, because now they want to. They know that there's only 4 minutes remaining in this. They want to see if they can. This is where they need to see what their car can do, because now they're about to go into qualifying mode.
Yep. They want to do a qualifying sim, as the qualifying sessions are only 15 minutes long, so they've got to get with it very, very quickly. I interviewed Lynn St. James at Indianapolis. She was our Grand Marshal, and she said she was so thankful for her Trans Am history. She had great success in the Trans Am series, and said, unlike a lot of racing series where there's lots of practice and lead up to the qualifying sessions and you can kind of sneak up on your lap times, Trans Am taught her that you got to go right away. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to be on it just as soon as you leave the pit lane. And that's the tack that these drivers are taking right now, setting the stage for qualifying later this afternoon.
We have some feedback from Untamed Zero. The Tovo twins need a first initials in front of their name in the scoring pylon so that the fans can understand it. That's a great, I'm going to try to make that happen for you. We're going to see what we can do.
Jackson is in the 30. Ethan is in the 10.
Elio Meza has been so impressive, his run, and just a great person to be around.
Indeed. He's such a great young man and has some challenges. He has an implant, to overcome a hearing deficit that he was born with. And he's just such a great kid. I can call him a kid because I'm an old guy. But he's just so good behind the wheel. I mean, he won, 6 in a row, starting at COTA last year. His first race in a TA2 car, wins it, and then wins the first 5 races of this season on the trot.
Another impressive driver here, Noah Harmon.
You bet.
Very good with Silver Hair Racing. Rockers.
High Point Rockers, yeah.
The baseball team, and I hear that all of the Silver Hair drivers, Max Reeves, Tanner Reif, and Noah Harmon, when we're at VIR, maybe a couple of days before our VIR race, they're going to get to throw out the opening pitches.
All right.
At the High Point Rockers game. I'm going to have to go to that.
Nice.
See how they do.
Noah with 3 podium finishes already this season, in round 2 at Sonoma, and at Indianapolis, and at Road America. He finished on the box. He's 3rd in the points behind the 2 SLR teammates, Elio Mesa and Elan Day.
The thing I've been most impressed with Noah Harmon, and I went and spoke to him after Sonoma. I didn't talk to him after Road America, but he worked his way through the field to get on the podium at Sonoma. But to do that, there were a couple of opportunities that he could have really risked it and put it in, and it was 50-50 if he was going to collect the other car or make it through. And he's held back and then waited for a better time to pass. And to me, I told him this from the podium, that's how you get on the podium.
Yep.
And it's that, but as a driver, that is so hard to do, to discipline yourself. Maybe I could make the pass, and all drivers have to be optimists. They have to think they can make the pass at any time.
Of course.
But, he's had so much experience in the MX-5 Cup and now in TA2, and that's how he got on the podium at Road America, because he was way back in 11th. At Road America, but he just makes very smart passes that even in I do a lot with vintage racing. They would all be vintage passes, like make sure the driver knows you're there, don't do anything.
Yep.
And for a team owner that's looking for the next bit of talent, that's a skill. We don't reward drivers for the passes they don't make enough. And
right.
for somebody like me who loves everybody, don't want to see anybody wadded up, we need to do a better job as a series. Really highlighting the drivers that do things not to collect other cars and don't risk their equipment and still finish on the podium, because that's what it takes on these 100-mile sprint races like this. To finish on the podium is to know when to make a pass and when not to make a pass.
Exactly right. And this field is so competitive. It's just intense that these drivers really have to take every opportunity to improve their position, because there's going to be somebody right next to him. There's Jared Odrick, our Pro-Am leader and defending champion.
And we have to talk, he's got popcorn on the side of his car, and he's giving it away to people here. Go by his paddock. It is really good.
Awesome.
I love popcorn, but it is really good. And my sons are both here, and they're loving it. And, in fact, we grabbed 3 bags last night, and they asked me if we can go get more. We're out of our bags of Pop Art popcorn. It is very good popcorn, so make sure you go by there and get some Pop Art popcorn. And hopefully our camera operators can get a close-up of the hood, because the Pop Art is kind of like that Andy Warhol kind of like Pop Art, It kind of reminds me of that. You can see it there on the side, too.
Right.
So go get yourself some Pop Art popcorn if you're here in the paddock.
Jared chasing Elio Mesa, maybe going to school a little bit to see if he can figure out the secrets to that lap time that Elio's already turned in. Coming up on some traffic as they work their way through turn 10 and down in through the final turn on the racetrack, as these cars all coming into the pits, including Mesa and
Yeah, well, checkered
Jared
flag is
Ogden.
out, so they can't do another lap.
That would explain it, yeah.
As they come in, and now Will's bringing them in. So here's your results, John.
Elio Mesa with a unofficial new lap record of 48.959. Elon Day, second quick at a 49.3, just about 0.4 of a second separating those two. Gavin Gleitzman, virtually in a dead heat with Elon Day, only 24 thousandths behind him in the third spot. Adrian Lostowski, just about 1/10 of a second back in fourth. Another 2/10 back to Thomas Merrill in the 26th. Noah Harmon, 1/10 behind Thomas Merrill in the 7 car. Buffalmante, 1/10.5 behind Harmon. Laney Bryce, 3/10 behind John Buffalmante. You get the idea here. These gaps are so slim. Jackson Tovo in the 30, 14 thousandths behind Laney. Rafa Matos in the 9. HP Tuner's American flagpole car in the 10th spot. Ethan Tovo in 11th. Jace Denmark in 12th. Roberto Sabato in 13th. Jay Thomas in 14th. Jared Odrick, the quickest of the Pro-Am drivers. No, I stand corrected. Roberto Sabato, quickest of the Pro-Am drivers, in 13th. Jared Odrick, second quick in the 00 in 15th. Vinny Mescalis in the 90 in 16th spot. Tanner Reif, 17th. Joe Federal is 18th. Stanton Barrett in 19th. Aiden Dorvey in the 20th position. Tom Sheehan, Cale Phillips, Graham Jacobson, Doug Winston, and Jim Gallagher takes us down through the 25th position. Eric Caton, Preston Peebles, Jim Lebecco. Great to see Jim in the field this weekend. Christina Lamb and Tristan McKee all the way back in 30th. Again, Tristan didn't only turn, one lap as his car let him down. Matt Gray, Brian Scheibel, Nathan Hearn, and Maciej Tunowitz rounding out the field. So that's it for TA2 practice for the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series. But don't go away. Next up, we'll have the International GT Qualifying session, setting the grid for their first sprint race coming up later this afternoon at 3:50. So don't go away. Ben and I will be right back.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Haggerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, all for less than a set of race tires. Haggerty, let's drive together.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Big news for car lovers everywhere. Now you can get Next Gen at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. Every Next Gen formula is built with advanced ceramic technology, and that means a deep gloss finish, serious protection, and long-lasting durability for your paint. World-class racing teams trust Next Gen to protect their race cars under the toughest conditions. And you can trust Next Gen to protect your car every day. Find Next Gen ceramic protection at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Get ready for race day with Stack Auto Lifts. The world's fastest racers and the most trusted garage lifts come together to elevate every moment on and off the track. From rugged 4-post lifts and powerful 2-post systems to space-saving single-post and scissor lifts, Stack Auto Lifts delivers strength, precision, and performance for every garage. Brought to you by Stack Auto Lifts, created by racers for racers. Proud partner of Race America for the 2026 season.
Welcome to RacingAmerica.tv. From the local short tracks to the road racing stars of Trans Am, we have you covered. Subscribe now for live access to over 200 grassroots races streaming all season long. Watch anytime, anywhere on your phone, tablet, or TV apps. Get a 10-year archive of grassroots races, plus behind-the-scenes NASCAR team coverage. And when the spotlight turns to Trans Am, Racing America brings you front-row access to the action. This is racing at every level. This is Racing America.
Think like an athlete. Drink your weeds. Jim Weed is the athletic focus drink with adaptogens and caffeine that make your body believe it can do anything. Sip on some before you smash your goals. JimWeed.com, the official energy drink of SVRA and Trans Am. Racing America is proudly sponsored by Hagerty, the world's largest membership, insurance, and media organization for people who love cars. For more information, go to Hagerty.com, the official insurance partner of Racing America. A recognized leader in hazardous materials abatement and owned by racer John Moore, JM Environmental is a proud supporter of SVRA for the 2026 season. For more information, please visit jmenvironmental.net, the hazardous material abatement company of SVRA and Trans Am. Welcome back to Watkins Glen as we are in our first qualifying session of the weekend. And this is for our International GT competitors and their first sprint race of the weekend coming up later today. They'll take the green flag at 3:50 this afternoon. I'm John Phippen alongside Ben Sissel. Great, thanks for joining us here on this Friday, a beautiful Friday, as the weather has been very good to us so far this weekend. The only issues we've had is some of the smoke coming down from the Canadian wildfires, and our hearts go out to our friends north of the border dealing with all of those issues. But most of that haze has burned off here today, and we are looking at a great day for qualifying and, it turns out, racing, with these drivers taking the first race of the weekend coming up this afternoon.
We have a few different classes in International GT. GTX, like there with the Bentley, we have a Lamborghini out there. They're running in GTX, but man, this International GT was founded on the Stuttgart Cup, which are like the Caymans and the Boxsters, and then those kind of went away, and now they are on a huge march back. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, about 20 of these Caymans. And some of them are the new 4-liter Caymans that my friend Brad Roberts tells me are just basically unstoppable, just really great cars. And then we've got some the Mission Foods GT cars. We've got 3.6s, 3.8s, 4 liters, 4Rs, the 992s, and then it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the GTX. So this should be a lot of fun. We have the Colin Cohen and a Maserati Trofeo, Bruce Ledoux and his Lamborghini Huracan, the Bentley that you see there with Charles Wicht, and he was with us where we Road America,
right?
A beautiful car. And then Ari Strauss in a Porsche Cayman is in GTX, and Francisco de Jesus is in a 2023 Porsche GT3 Cup 992 in GTX. There's Bob Wyson. You know, we were just talking about your Ohio friends. He's from Mentor, Ohio. You've probably called the name Bob Wyson at Mid-Ohio quite a bit.
Just a few times, yes, sir.
There's that Bentley of Charles Wick in that 07. 40 cars, over 40 cars here
41,
with the National
I think,
GT.
on the entry list. Yeah.
That is so exciting.
That's their biggest entry in a long time. Julie Bentley has got a big smile on her face this weekend as she's brought a big field of cars here this weekend. And these Porsches love this racetrack.
Yeah, we've got some beautiful weather. Look at that big Bentley. And it sounds fantastic. That car, you can see the outline of the Union Jack on the side of it.
Yep.
In British Racing green.
Exactly. This one is the third generation Continental GT3. Built back in 2017 is when it was debuted, with nearly a 600 horsepower 4-liter twin turbo V8. It's got a big throaty exhaust note. Imagine how loud it would be if it were normally aspirated.
That is a beautiful car.
Yep, no question. GTX, X standing for exhibition. Those drivers in the GTX class are not vying for points. They're just here to have some fun and maybe stand on top of the podium and collect some medals and some hardware, but they're not vying for the Stuttgart Cup Championship, as Ben mentioned, for the Cayman class cars, and then the Mission Foods GT3 Cup Championship for the Porsche GT3 Cup cars. We also have a Maranello Cup Championship for the Ferrari 488s, but we don't have any Ferraris on the entry list here this weekend.
But if Bruce Ledoux can get his Lamborghini friends to come out and be consistent, or if Charles Wick could get a few of his like-minded cars, maybe some Bentleys and McLarens out there, I'm sure we could figure out a way to make a championship for them as well.
Exactly right.
Surely we could get some more British cars out there and make some kind of flying spur trophy.
Ben is the British car specialist amongst our commentary team.
I just love them. I don't know why. It's unexplainable, but I'm just drawn to them.
I get it. I get it. I'm right there with you.
Now, if I were practical, I should like Porsches.
Yeah.
Because they just are fantastic cars that just don't stop.
Yeah. I have never owned a British car, but I have owned a Porsche.
Yeah.
So.
Torsten there, you saw that with the Just Hands. What a great story. Torsten Gross in the 2020 Porsche Cayman GT4 3.8. There's a documentary series about him and Just Hands. It's all hand controls in his car.
Yep.
And he's working with other athletes and his just a fantastic foundation to get other athletes, quadriplegics, paraplegics to work, and that's why it's Just Hands. And you need to go on Amazon Prime and watch the Just Hands. I think it's a 5-part series, a very fantastic series. So it's great to have Torsten Gross. He usually joins us at Lime Rock, does this event, and might do one more with us. But it's absolutely fantastic to have him come out here and his foundation. And we will do whatever we can to support his foundation to try to get more people behind the wheel. But hopefully tomorrow morning I'm going to be hosting a fan walk, and I'll like to open the door and show you. He'll show us how he's controlling the car, and it is just very, very interesting.
That's great stuff. And just as a side note, our safety car driver, James Rogerson, does a lot of work with drivers, mostly veterans that are dealing with some injuries, and paraplegic, quadriplegics even, or not quads, but paraplegics that are able to get in a race car but use hand controls. And James works with a group of drivers in his area down in Texas.
Now this is supposed to be qualifying, John.
It is.
And our drivers have not separated like they should to try to give themselves some good qualifying open space. And this is a mixed group of cars here in this jumble coming into Mission Foods Turn 1. Somebody needs to get them the memo that they need to start spreading out. But you see Charles Wicks, as he should be, there at the top. And then Liam Gray, another one of our fastest drivers who just put on a clinic a few weeks ago at Mid-Ohio.
Liam and his dad, Eric, are sharing that car this weekend, so not sure which of them is in the car.
Well, I hope Eric doesn't get offended, but I'm guessing that's Liam in the car right now.
William Oliver, third quickest in the 058. Mark Sandridge in the fourth spot. Mark and Jordan Sandridge both here this weekend. Tommy Ballister in the 189. And then Coleman Hall, quickest of the Caymans at the moment, in the number 79, vying for the Stuttgart Cup. Juan Gonzalez right behind him, Mr. Mission Foods in the 81. Zachary Bradford in another of the Caymans in the 14 car. Bruce Ledoux in that Lamborghini, number 76.
He's on screen.
There he is, right on cue.
I spoke to him yesterday, John. Such an interesting story. He's been a long-time racer. He also has a Ferrari Challenge car here with us this weekend. He has two 20-year-old staff that look over this car, and they are just kind of Lamborghini savants.
Yeah.
So much so that they get hired to go to Italy and work with the Lamborghini teams over there in the racing. I met one of the 20-year-olds yesterday, but he was very excited. Like, I talked to him, and I wasn't very familiar with him. And I wanted to go introduce myself because we're going to be broadcasting the races this weekend. And he wanted to talk more about his two 20-year-old staff that just know how to fix these Lamborghinis. And I thought that was really cool. It just kind of speaks to who he is.
Yep.
He works with J.P. Morgan, and just obviously a fanatic.
Yeah.
And he says his wife also races, so he just loves being out here. And just the kind of people you want in the International GT paddock.
Exactly.
So welcome Bruce Ledoux. I think it's his first time with International GT, but just based on what I was hearing from him yesterday, this will not be his last.
Kurt Kropp is the Stuttgart Cup points leader coming into this weekend in the Extreme Velocity Motorsports number 641. Joe Rizzo in the number 24 BGB Motorsports Cayman, and Zachary Bradford in the number 14 ZRB Motorsports Cayman are your top three in the Stuttgart Cup. In the Mission Foods GT3 Cup Championship, Matt Cohn in the number 210 off-leash motorsports car is the points leader. Cliff Kayer not here this weekend in the Matrix Motorsports GT992 is second. William Oliver is third in the points table in his team car, the other Matrix Motorsports GT992.
Oh, now look at this. These are two of my favorite people in IGT. Tommy Ballister from Puerto Rico with Juan Gonzalez right there around the carousel. Both of these gentlemen are very large food manufacturers.
Yep.
And, you know, it's great. At International GT, you get out, you go to Winner's Circle. Half the field is speaking to each other in Spanish.
Yeah.
So these two are having a conversation that I'm just not a part of sometimes. You know, and it's just so much fun to see, but they just have such a great time. Tommy Ballister, I was giving him a hard time earlier in the season that the steering wheel on the graphics was the opposite way. So he's fixed that for us, so we appreciate that. With Quirt, and you can see he looks very comfortable there at the bottom left. But his company is Colosso out of Puerto Rico. It's great to have him here. When they had that really bad hurricane, his company really stepped up to help out the country of Puerto Rico and help everybody get through that. So we really appreciate that. I met his daughter. She was with us in Sebring, but it looks like he's slowing down for some reason.
I think he's trying to get a little gap
so,
here.
Yeah, he was looking at his mirror and slowing down. He's trying to see, okay, how much can I slow down? Because he's wanting to watch this car. He's wanting to do his flyer right now. He needs to get a good exit out of here, and the timing will start. I'll tell you when it starts. He's going to cross over right now. Now he's on his flyer. He still looks relaxed. Only a little bit of a jiggle there going into Mission Foods turn 1.
He's seventh quick so far. Let's see how this lap looks as he's got clear track in front of him through these S's.
He wasn't sure he was going to make it. Quirt and his team put a lot of effort in. I heard they had to make a 17-hour straight drive to go get a part, to go bring that 17 hours back and put it in the car. So he was just real excited. It was kind of last minute if he was going to make it or not.
Heavy on the brakes into the bus stop, or the inner loop as it's called, and then into the outer loop.
He's coming up on some traffic here.
Turn 5. And the little chute. The NASCAR course, of course, goes off to your right there, but this is down into the boot. These are the laces of the boot. And turn 6. And down to the toe. You can see it steeply downhill and then immediately uphill right here.
Now he's got 2 cars to get around, which is not ideal when you're on your flyer, unless you can get around them on a straight, but I don't know if he'll be able to get around both of these on the straight.
This is the sole of the boot, heading toward the heel, and that's going to compromise this turn for him a bit, as he wasn't able to get all the way over to driver's left, and then up to the top of the hill, turn 9. This is a very acute turn, much tighter than 90 degrees. A long duration left-hander. And just 2 turns left to get back onto the front straightaway. Through turn 10. Right back over to the left to get the apex of turn 11. Again, a little traffic in front. Maybe he'll tuck in, get a little draft from that car in front of him as he comes to the line. Let's see what that lap looks like. A 152.263, third quickest for Tommy Ballister. Second amongst the GT 4.0 drivers.
That was Bob Weisen there in front of him. So that was fun to stick with him through that whole lap.
Yeah.
See how he did on his flyer. I feel like he was pretty happy with that.
Second in class. Yeah, he's off the pace now as he's content with that lap time with good reason.
Well, one, he's just happy that the car's working because he wasn't sure. Like, if we would have spoken a week ago, he's probably been like, I'm not sure I'm coming to Watkins Glen.
Jason Alexander in the number 29, 3.8-liter Cayman out of Horseheads, New York. So a local driver, certainly familiar with this racetrack, I'm sure.
There is no quit in Quirt. Even though if you take out the R, it would spell quit. But, man, the Quirt, they really went through a lot of effort to get that car back up and running. I do like the look of these Caymans. So no surprise there in the top 2 with Wicht, with Liam Gray. Tommy Ballister, he should be pretty happy there to be in third, but he's got Mark Sandrich, another person in the food industry Right behind him. Actually, it's the 58. I need to make sure I get this right. Who's in the 58?
That's Mark.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Yeah. Jordan is in the 49. Team Salad is their team.
Yeah, we've got macaroni salad and potato salad.
Yeah. Here's the 22 of. All right, I can get my list up here. That's Brian Hicks out of Galloway, Ohio.
I believe I saw Colin Cohen with his Maserati over to the right over there between 1 and 2. Not sure who this is in the Stuttgart Cup.
He blew the chicane, so they have to come to a complete stop and wait for a point from the corner worker before they can continue. That's Ryan Camp out of Seminole, Florida. And the number 9. Slowing down to let Richard Grant by in the number 30 Cayman.
I'm having a lot of questions here in the comments. What happened to TA Sprints? I don't know the official word, but TA Sprints was scheduled to be here, and then they were taken off of the schedule a few weeks ago. So, yeah, TA Sprints is not going to be streaming here this weekend because TA Sprints isn't happening here this weekend. I'm sure we're going to make up for that somewhere else throughout the season, but not sure quite yet where and when. But that will come out if you follow us on our Trans Am socials or anything like that. That will come out. So there's Richard Grant there in the yellow Stuttgart Cup.
Right behind the 67 of Richard Walker in his Cayman out of West Palm Beach, Florida. And then the 22 car is Brian Hicks. We talked about Brian. And that's silver and red.
I like the look of those 992s as well.
Yep. The 992, the most contemporary version of the Porsche GT3 Cup car. It's evolved over the course of the years. We've got a 3.6 liter GT3 Cup car here this weekend.
But if you look at a 356 from the 50s, the early 50s, to a modern Porsche 992, you can see that evolution.
Yep.
You know, I love that. Porsche, they got the formula right from the start, and they really haven't strayed from it.
Yep. Checkered flag is out now, we understand, for this session. So these last timed laps will be scored. But right now, Charles Wicht in the Bentley out in front by a pretty comfortable margin, a 2nd and 7/10 over Liam and Eric Gray in the 991. Tommy Ballister still hanging on to that third spot in the 189. Then Mark Sandrich in the 58 up to 4th. Coleman Hall right behind him in the number 79. He's the quickest of the Caymans vying for the Stuttgart Cup.
Yeah, and you were saying the Kirk Kropp is leading in the points. I'm surprised Coleman Hall's not up there. He must have missed an event. Kirk Kropp, very good driver, and you know, did really well with us last year. And I love that he always thanks his dog on the podium. But Coleman Hall, very fast.
Yeah, Coleman's 5th in the points coming into this weekend in the Sean Creech Motorsports Cayman. Look at the 27 of Bob Wyson, the Mentor, Ohio driver.
Bob Wyson was runner-up in our Mission Foods Championship a few years ago to Ted Giovannis, and it came down to the last race of the season at Daytona. And I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I was secretly rooting for Bob Wyson. Just really like the guy. He's just one of the nicest people in the paddock, and you know, kind of a little bit of an underdog there.
Yep.
With Ted Giovanna, so I kind of like to root for my underdogs.
Bob's currently 17th in the order. As we mentioned, multiple classes for each of these cups, the Stuttgart Cup for the Caymans and the Mission Foods GT3 Cup.
If you wonder what that tongue is sticking out of that Lamborghini, that's the toe strap. But that's got to be costing them a little bit. Sometimes they kind of zip tie it in a bunch, and then the tow truck can still come and tow on that and just kind of break the zip tie. So that's, that might cost them a 1,000th of a second in aero drag maybe.
Mike Beers right behind them in the 186 Porsche 997.2, 2009. That's one of the oldest of the GT3 Cup cars with the 3.6-liter motor. Mike out of Hancock, Vermont.
Just a few years ago, Bill Riddell and Shane Lewis brought the last International GT car I've seen with an actual manual stick shift. International GT is, the Porsches at least, are all paddle shift.
Yep. Yeah, this session's still going on. I looked at my timing monitor and it said zeros on the time to go, but that's a mistake. This goes till 11:25, so we've still got about 7 minutes remaining in this session.
The liveries on these International GT cars, some of them are some of the best. There's one out there that's a Cayman. It's blue and gray, and the wrap, and my son was pointing it out to me yesterday, it's the carbon fiber like coming undone. and when he passes, I'll try to point him out because it just is one of the coolest liveries. You got to come and see it up close. And I feel like there's another contest, and maybe I should bring this up to Julie, that when we do our banquet every year at Sebring, it's coming into turn one right now, the car I was talking about. It's a blue and gray Cayman. Maybe we need to have a best livery, because they really take they take their liveries very seriously. The number 63.
That's David Harrington.
We might be able to get a good shot of it at the bus stop, but the front of it's carbon fiber, and then it's like coming undone, like fraying with the speed, and it's just a really cool take on how to do a wrap. I love that. And then also a lot of the cars like David Tawadi, Tom Pank, Lucas Pank, they have the brightest liveries on their cars. But you see that? You'll be able to see it when he starts to come into the carousel. You'll see kind of at the door, it's starting to come undone. Yeah, look at that. How it's like unraveling. I love that.
Great stuff.
The creativity of our graphic designers here in IGT. Great shot there from whoever's at the inner loop.
David Harrington in the number 63. He's currently 31st of the 38 cars that have turned to time in this session.
It's Joey at the inner loop. Nice job, Joey. Warren getting a good shot here of that Stuttgart. And, because we have so many Stuttgart, we do a fastest lap award, and Julie announced at drivers meeting this weekend it goes to the Stuttgart, fastest lap in Stuttgart, because that class is just ever growing and becoming very competitive. So we love seeing that.
Coleman Hall would have that award at the moment, as he's the quickest of the Caymans in the number 79. 5th overall.
And that might be Kropp behind this car here.
Kurt Kropp in the 641.
I can't tell. I know he's got an orange car, and it's a Cayman. I think that's him because he's got the nostrils on what I call the hood of the car.
Yeah.
Really cool lion graphic. He's with Extreme Velocity, and Derek, very fast driver. And he's our current points leader, you said.
Kurt Kropp, yes, he is.
See that lion, the roaring lion with the crop inside? I like that. He was in the heavy machinery rental business. So our camera operators might be standing on his scissor lifts right now. You never know.
Kurt makes his home. I don't know. We didn't get his...
I would, based on his accent, I'd say somewhere near here.
Okay.
He's kind of a forget about it kind of guy. Is that Groombridge there? It looks like Groombridge.
The black 4 is Ann Doherty. I think she's making her first start with us out of Daniel Island, South Carolina. And then the 216 is indeed Nick Groombridge out of Cold Spring, New York.
Yeah, I was talking to Ann earlier this morning. She's lived in South Carolina for about 3 years from Seattle, Washington. I was like, well, you just go from one corner to the next.
Yeah.
Seems like she's having a great time with International GT, so we want to welcome her.
Yeah, she's 15th fastest.
Nice.
So, yeah, she's doing a good job.
We are having a big party underneath the Mission tent tonight. Juan Gonzalez having some burritos.
Yeah.
And the International GT, it's just as much a social party as it is cars on track.
Yep.
I love the way that Ken Fangler and Julie Bentley have kind of run this thing, and now under the tutelage of Julie, she's continuing it on. So when Juan Gonzalez, man, he knows how to throw a party. There's Torsten with Just Hands. So I'm hoping to do a fan walk tomorrow, and we're going to open up that door with Torsten and explain how he does it, explain his foundation, because it is just really, really cool.
Down out of the laces of the boot, heading down toward the toe.
And then one of the Jesus is behind him. They raced with us at Sebring a few years ago. Very good, accomplished driver. You see him flashing the lights there.
Julio in the 12, and his brother Francisco in the 221. I assume they're brothers.
It might be father-son.
Oh, that could be, yeah.
That's what I want to think it is, but I'm not sure. But I'll find out before tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
Now I have the Paul Simon song in my head. Me and Julio down by the schoolyard. It's a great song. That's how my mind works. If you say something, it's like, oh man, well now I'm going to be.
Now you've got an earworm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You say Paul Menard, I've got the Menards jingle in my head.
Yes, save big money at Menard.
Mm-hmm. That his mom wrote.
Yeah.
So the universal retail display of the De Jesus.
Francisco out of Flower Mound, Texas. Julio from Louisville, Texas.
Well, now I can't remember if they were at Sebring or Coda with us now.
There's Bob Wisen again in that number 27.
Top 4, Bob Wisen.
Yeah,
nice
he's
job.
4th. Yeah, no question. 3rd amongst the GT 4.0 cars, which are the quickest of them here, at least this weekend. Mark Sandrich, quickest of the GT 992s in the 5th overall. And then Coleman Hall, still quickest of the Caymans by a pretty substantial margin. The next closest Cayman, Coleman is in 6th overall. The next closest Cayman, just scanning down the order here, is all the way down to Zach Bradford in the 14th position. So Coleman Hall definitely looking to be the man to beat in the Stuttgart Cup here this weekend.
So since we last talked to Bob Wisen, he was at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah.
He has got himself a new car
Okay.
that he's really happy about. I need to ask him if I have permission to share what it is, but I was talking to him at registration the other day, and he's put some miles on it and very impressed by it. It's pretty neat. So I love that. You know, it's like these are all of our friends, and when your friends get to live their dreams, it's a car that he's wanted for a while and been hunting down, and it's in the color that he wants, and it's just exactly how he wants it. I love that, because if you're into racing, you never really age past 15 years old mentally, and maybe physically, and so I love that. He's getting to live his dream and do what he wants, and he's out here racing with us in International GT. Very good driver.
This new car is a street car?
It's a street car.
Okay, so not a race car.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, we won't spoil the surprise.
Yeah, but it's a really cool one. And he showed pictures of it to my kids, and they were very impressed.
Got it.
There's another TLM car.
Thad Berger in the number 60. Out of Redmond, Washington. Long tow for Thad.
Yeah.
One of the on-rails racing teammates. That's a great car. I love the color scheme because depending on which side you look at, it's black. No, it's red.
Yeah. It's also a good strategy because one corner worker might say, look for the black car coming at you. I couldn't catch the number. And then the corner station's on the other side, and they're like, there isn't a black car out there.
Starter showing the checkered flag, so just the last couple cars coming across the line. One of them is Thad Berger as he comes across the stripe. They show the checkered flag at turn 10 as well, so the drivers are aware that it's out, so they can duck into the pit lane. They don't have to take another full lap around this 3.4-mile circuit. Here's the 167 of Andrew Smiley out of Morris, Connecticut in his Cayman. The Hairy Dog Garage.
Nice.
His team.
What a great name, Andrew Smiley.
Andrew currently 11th on the points table in that number 167.
Yeah, our producer's saying there's a lot of great names in this class. He's from Wisconsin, so he likes the name Mike Beers.
Yeah. Perfect for Wisconsin. All right. Let's just do a quick rundown of the class leaders in each class. In the 4-liter GT3 Cup class, the GT 4.0, Eric and Liam Gray. We think Liam's in the car for this session. In the 991 is quickest. Tommy Ballister in the number 189, second, about a second and a tenth separate those two. And Bob Wisen, third fastest among the GT 4.0 cars in the number 27, just about 8/10 of a second behind Tommy Ballister. Julio De Jesus in the 12, Ann Doherty in the 4, and Thad Berger in the 60, all in the GT 4.0 class. Here's the overall standings. In the GT 992 class, Mark Sandrich, who's 5th overall, in the number 58, quickest. Jordan Sandrich, his son, in the 49, just 7/10 of a second further back. William Oliver in the 058, and Brian Hicks in the 22 are your GT 992 class leaders. And in the GT 4.R class, Matthew Cohn in the 210 is quickest. Juan Gonzalez in the 81, second to him by only about 6/10 of a second, so that's a good battle in that class. And let's see. I think that's it for the contested classes in the Mission Foods GT3 Cup. For the Stuttgart Cup, the Cayman 3.8i class, Jason Alexander quickest in the number 29, with Rocco Canada the third in the number 992. I think this is Rocco's first race meeting with us. Richard Walker in the 67 is third. David Harrington, in the 63, fourth. Maria Meja in the number 11. John Alexander in the 127, and Torsten Gross in the 19 round out the field. In the Cayman 4-liter class, which is the quickest of the Stuttgart Cup cars, Coleman Hall with the lead in the number 79 by about a second and a half over Zachary Bradford in the 14. Richard Zollman in the 17 is third. Joseph Rizzo in the 24 is fourth. Ryan Camp in the 9. Ross Goldstein, Jeff Offlerbach, Kurt Kropp, the points leader, way back in 8th position. Thomas Begoni in the 55, and Richard Grant in the 30. And finally in the GTX class, Charles Wicht, quickest overall in the Bentley. Bruce Ledoux in the Lamborghini. Then Francisco De Jesus, Nick Groombridge, Colin Cohen in the Maserati, and Ari Strauss in the 26. Round out the GTX class. Next up, we're going to open wheels for the FRP Formula 1600s for their first practice session of the weekend. Coming up next.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Haggerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, all for less than a set of race tires. Haggerty, let's drive together.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Big news for car lovers everywhere. Now you can get Next Gen at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. Every Next Gen formula is built with advanced ceramic technology, and that means a deep gloss finish, serious protection, and long-lasting durability for your paint. World-class racing teams trust Next Gen to protect their race cars under the toughest conditions. And you can trust Next Gen to protect your car every day. Find Next Gen ceramic protection at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Get ready for race day with Stack Auto Lifts. The world's fastest racers and the most trusted garage lifts come together to
Welcome back to Watkins Glen as we turn to open wheel racing here. These are our F1600 drivers from Formula Race Promotions. Some of the best racing you will ever see in this class. These are basically Formula Ford 1600s, no wings at either end of the car. So it's all about mechanical grip and drafting in this class. And they race in packs. If you're familiar with Formula V racing, same kind of story. These drivers race in packs. You can see the drafting going on here on the front straightaway right now. A couple teammates going side by side as they drop down into turn number one. Christian Moniz is the points leader coming into this round after 3 rounds of racing. Road Atlanta, Mid-Ohio, and Road America. This is their 4th race meeting of the season. And Christian Moniz is the points leader out of Whitby, Ontario. So the Canadian drivers at Road America had a problem. They couldn't get the cars across the border. There was a mix-up or a tie-up at customs, and they weren't able to get the cars into this country. And so they had to borrow race cars from local drivers up in the Wisconsin area. But apparently they got that solved, and these cars are the normal team cars for our drivers from Canada. And there's several Canadian drivers in the F1600 field. There's also 2 subclasses. There's the 1600, and then there's the 1600 Masters drivers for drivers of a certain age. And David Livingston is the Masters points leader. Second amongst the Masters, David Adorno, Phil Kingham, and then Scott Rebenzer in the Masters cars.
A lot of racing, John, is you watch a race, and in that course of the race, there might be 3-4 lead changes. In F1600, it is not unlikely at a track like Watkins Glen. We will have 4 to 6 lead changes in a lap.
Easily.
It is unbelievable to watch, and it is so much fun. And you were talking about the importance of the draft. And, we were just last round with FRP at Road America, and there were, 4 to 5 lead changes in a lap pretty regularly.
Yep.
So much fun to watch. And when you talk about wheel-to-wheel racing, this is wheel-to-wheel racing, but because it's open wheel, they can't touch wheels.
Yep.
And it is so much fun to watch. And, a lot of times in something like this, it's just practice, so they might spread out. But even in qualifying, 4 cars in a line are faster than 1 car.
The 2 cars we've been following, the 4 of Christian Moniz, as we mentioned, the points leader, and his teammate Boss Patel out of Calgary, Alberta, both of them in Piper DL7 Hondas. There's the 47 of Phil Kingham, one of our Masters drivers out of Dexter, Michigan, in a Spectrum. These cars working their way up the hill through the S's.
inboard shocks on all of these.
Yep.
Which saves some weight, puts some weight in the center. It doesn't save weight, but it puts the weight where you want it to be. But it just makes for the little tiny arms that are, holding the front suspensions. It almost looks like that shouldn't work.
Yeah, they look spindly.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that also gets the shocks out of the airflow, so it's a little more aerodynamic. Again, these cars are not about generating downforce. They're about lowering drag.
And it's so important. You can't scrub off any speed, momentum racing.
Yep.
And it's just one of those things we talk about a lot, like Spec Miata, Formula V, Formula Ford, F1600. If you can drive one of these cars fast, you can get in anything and be fast.
In SCCA, these cars race in the Formula F class. It used to be Formula Ford because most of them were powered by the Ford Kent motor, but these days they're almost all Hondas. So they changed the nomenclature to Formula F because the Honda Fit motor is one of the ones that got fitted into these drivers' cars. And most of these are Honda powered. Not all, but most. But these Formula Fords, a number of different chassis manufacturers. We talked about the Spectrums, Jake Leroy's and a Megala, which basically has been purchased by Ligier. So the Megalas, the new Megalas, will be rebadged as Ligier's going forward. Van Diemen, of course, a very popular chassis. The Pipers of Mediz and Patel. John Dole is in a Ray Formula 1600. That's another British car. We talked about the Spectrums. There's a whole bunch of Spectrums in the field. And even a Citation. Steve Oseth in the 72 out of Winchester, Virginia, is in a 1994 Citation in this field.
These two teammates up front just kind of trying to stay with each other.
Yeah, doing a good job of taking advantage of the draft. That's Mediz in front, and then the 6 of Boss Patel right behind him. Looking at the time charts, the 06 of David Ibarra is now second quick. David Adorno, the lead Masters driver, in the third position. And then Boss Patel, one of these two that we're seeing on screen. Cooper Travis in the 17. Phil Kingham second amongst the Masters. In the 6th spot, David Livingston, another Masters driver in the 85, is 7th. Axel Leroy and Jake Leroy with Bob Reed rounding out the top 10. It's the 06 of David Ibarra in his Megala.
So he's currently second. He's trying to catch up to this draft. I think he's going to be there by turn 1.
These three drivers on screen are the top 3 in the points, with Mediz as in the 4 as the points leader, David Ibarra in the red and white 06 in second, and then Boss Patel in the 6.
Or he's trying to get some room, I think.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be in the draft. I'm not sure what the thinking is there, but maybe if you're joining us in the comments, you can tell us if there's a strategy, because he could have come in if he was having a problem.
Here's a shot of the 33 car of David Adorno, currently running 3rd overall and quickest of the Masters drivers.
I would say that shot there, looking down the uphill S's, is probably one of the top 3 most iconic road course shots in North America.
Yep. Mediz and Boss Patel jockeying for position. Mediz has been out in front with the clear air and has set the fastest lap of the session so far. This qualifying session will set the grid for the first race of the weekend for these drivers. They don't qualify until tomorrow morning, but getting some indication of who's going to be quick when we get into qualifying mode. The Atlantics qualify first tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and then the F2000s qualify at 9:55, and the F1600s qualify at 11:55 tomorrow.
FRP is on Hoosier tires.
Correct.
Even though there are different chassis manufacturers, this is a very spec semi-spec series.
Yep.
Same tires, same weights. They're very particular about their weights. The engines have to be built to a certain spec. But this is definitely a driver's class, and like you said, some of the best racing maybe we'll see this weekend.
Yeah, I think without question. Of course, they'll make liars out of us, and it'll be a runaway, but it's unlikely, based on our past experience. These F1600 cars put on some of the most closely contested races that we see all season long.
I would love to see a 20-car field of our current Formula One drivers in these cars.
Sure.
I think we'd learn a lot about the Formula One drivers that we don't know.
And all of them probably have raced in Formula Ford at one point in their history. England, of course, has the great Formula Ford Festival every year.
This is one of our 2 tracks that has 3 different colors on the curbs. I love that. This one's, and they just did that a couple years ago.
Yep.
So this one's the yellow, blue, and red. And then Indy has a baby blue, dark blue, and a white. I like the 3-color curbs.
Yep. You can tell Ben is a graphic designer because he loves the colors.
Yeah, I look at the set decorating.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep. It's Phil Kingham in the 40, so the blue number 47.
Our producer Cam is challenging me. He thinks Coda might have 3 colors, so he's looking it up. Maybe he's right.
He's got visual references, though. We have to rely on our memories.
Here we go.
Pretty good example of what you're going to see come race mode. These guys are in practice mode. The 32 car of Joe Colasacco. Joe's doing double duty this weekend. He's got his F2000 car as well as his F1600 car here this weekend.
He also has one of my top favorite cars in vintage racing, that little Ferrari Formula Junior with the baby blue wheels.
Yep.
One of the greatest musical notes you'll ever hear out of a car.
Yep. Ferrari always known for their, if 6 cylinders is good, 12 is better.
And then I think he's got the Shark Nose Formula Junior also.
Yeah.
That's the shot, though, right there.
Yeah, no kidding.
So they were asking me my top 3. I think the Sonoma going up to turn 3, kind of like that. The uphill S's with the bridge over, and then the corkscrew.
Yep. Laguna Seca will be there later this season. That's one race I'll have to miss because I'll be at the SACA runoffs at Road America that weekend.
Are you commentating?
I am.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you'll be there with our friend Eric.
Indeed, I will.
How many cars are they expecting?
Oh, I have no idea.
I'm sure some of these drivers will
Some of these drivers will be there for sure, yeah. I haven't seen the entry list yet. It's still early, not till October, so. But it's not uncommon at the runoffs to get 500 or 600 cars. I think the record at the runoffs was set at Indianapolis just shy of 1,000 cars the first time we went there. But the record was held by Mid-Ohio for a number of years. We had the runoffs at my home track for 12 consecutive years, and we had built up such a great following. It was a big spectator event for Mid-Ohio back in the day. Now the runoffs sort of moves around to different racetracks, which is great. Everybody likes to see a little different track, and so the spectator count never really gets a chance to broom. But next year we're going back to Road Atlanta, and that was the home for the runoffs for 20-some years back in the day. After it left Road Atlanta, it came up to Mid-Ohio for a long stretch, and then it's been bouncing around ever since. So I'm real anxious to see how the runoffs takes to Road Atlanta.
Man, if Mid-Ohio or Road Atlanta is your home track, you have such an advantage because those are such difficult tracks.
Yeah. David Ibarra has taken over the top spot in that 06. Good shot of the number 8, and John Dole. He's one of the Masters drivers in that Ray. Very different looking. That's the only Ray in the field.
Which one is the Ray? It's a tall one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a little taller roll hoop. You can see the fairings on the.
Is that an air scoop
side,
as well?
The side pods, yep. Radiators in the side pods to cool the engines and the oil. Usually they'll have the water radiator on one side and the oil radiator on the other. But you can see those big scoops. Different. That one, a little different than the other cars. The 72 at the front of this group is Steve Oseth and his Citation. That's another one-off. We'll have one Citation in the front. Steve Oseth was the race director of the F4 from the regional championship back in the day. Yeah. Predated Scott Goodyear. Axel Leroy in the number 75. Gala in this cluster of cars.
Everybody looks very comfortable.
Yeah, yeah. And this is their first time on track this weekend. They were not here Thursday for the test session. So this is their first on-track activity of the weekend. They have 2 practice sessions today, leading up to qualifying tomorrow morning.
We are hoping to have a great spectator turnout this weekend. You can go to Racing America Tickets if you're in the area. This is the 51st year in the 60-year history that Trans Am has raced at Watkins Glen. How about that? We've only missed 9 years. And throughout every kind of generation of Trans Am, there's been some huge races here.
Yeah, it's the most visited racetrack in North America for Trans Am.
I met the new president of Watkins Glen last night, Dawn.
Yeah.
And just in a little bit of time I was speaking with her, I can tell that Watkins Glen is in very good hands. Yeah, it's not disappointing. And I brought my 2 sons here. This is the first time they've ever been here, and I was bragging about the views and how great it is. And we get up here, and you can't see anything because of the smoke. So today's the first clear day, and we were driving around track early this morning at sunrise, and they're like, okay, yeah, this is really pretty.
I was this year was my first visit to Lime Rock as well, so not far from here. It's very similar scenery in the Berkshires, in the Finger Lakes region, upstate New York here.
Yeah, from where we are, we can usually see Seneca Lake, and very pretty. And I love this track because there's great ice cream up here. That's how I measure my tracks. Lime Rock, same thing. They have some great ice cream there. And Road America as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny, Joe Nemechek races with us a lot, and he also has an ice cream problem like I do. So we're always trading where the best ice cream is.
Boss Patel has taken over the top spot on the timing charts in the number 6, Piper. His teammate, Christian Moniz, now second quick. Those two separated by 37 thousandths of a second. David Ibarra in the 06 is third. Just about a quarter of a second behind Moniz. Cooper Travis is fourth. The top 4 on the road here are the top 4 in the points. Moniz, Ibarra, Patel, and Travis in that order in the points table. David Adorno is the quickest of the Masters here in this session in the number 33 Magala. And Axel Leroy, John P. Doyle, Bob Reed, Joe Colasaco are your top 10.
Do you know the age breakdown for Masters?
I do not. I think it's 39, but don't quote me on it.
Maybe somebody in our comment section can clear us up on that. like we said, this is just practice, and it's their first session on track. They're getting a feel for it. I think we have next to what I would call nearly perfect conditions out on the track. We've seen a lot of records being shattered because of these conditions. And we expect for some very great racing. Now, there might be some rain in the forecast, which in F1600, that changes everything.
Yep.
You got to kind of, once it rains, I always try to look for my English-sounding last name drivers, because usually, you know, they usually do well in the rain. Or anybody that's like from Finland or anything to do with any ice racing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think, other than our Canadian drivers, I don't think we have any international drivers in this field. I'm just scanning down the order here. Tennessee, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Michigan, New York State, of course, Wisconsin, North Carolina. And then Connor Klebine from Bradford, Ontario. Boss Patel from Calgary. Christian Moniz from Whitby, Ontario, in Connecticut.
Well,
Joe
Patel
Kawasaki
from Calgary, he spent some time on some ice.
Yeah.
How many cars in the field?
Hang on, I'll get you a count.
Pretty healthy field. I saw the grid.
20. And all 20 of them have, with one exception, John Dole in the Masters number 8 has not yet turned the time. Or either that or he's got a malfunctioning transponder.
So these two have stayed together this whole session.
Yep.
And I wonder, as teammates, if one of them has been to Watkins Glen before, and he's like, hey, just follow me around. I'll show you the line. I'll show you what to do, when to hit the marks.
Yep. It's Moniz and Patel, and they are the top two on the timing charts as well. Boss Patel just improves his time, a 1:59.418. His teammate Christian Moniz just about 3/4 of a second back at a 2 minutes flat, 0.152. Now David Ibarra moves up into second spot, separating the two Piper teammates. Ibarra in the number 06 Nagala. David Adorno is still quickest of the Masters drivers in the 33. Second in the Masters, Joe Colasacco in his 32. And David Livingston in the 85, the top three in the Masters in this first practice session with these drivers.
All right, a little change of order here.
Yep, Boss Patel, who has the quick time now, lets his teammate Christian Moniz, the points leader, into the lead.
You see how the car has the like Spitfire fighter pilot Jaws mouth underneath the nose? I like that.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. There's a good shot of it there. The nose of that number 6. Coming down into Mission Foods Turn 1. We're going to be back here in just a little over a month, September 10th through the 13th, with the Mission Foods Hilliard U.S. Vintage Grand Prix with SVRA. The downtown parade. You're going to love that, John.
Yep.
Lots of spectators. That is a do not miss vintage event here.
Ibarra in the 06. Working his way to his best time of the session, a 1:59.4. So we have two drivers under 2 minutes. Patel and Ibarra. Must be something about the number 6. Patel in the 6, Ibarra in the 06. Wiggle there from the 75. Axel Leroy and his Magala.
He took a very high line on the carousel as well. Usually they're on pretty old tires for these practices. Qualifying, come qualifying, they'll put on some new Hoosiers. Are there tire rules in FRP?
As far as I know, everybody's on the same spec Hoosier tire.
Is there like an amount that they're allowed on the weekend?
That's a question I can't answer. I don't know. I'll research that. I'll research the Masters age and the tire rules.
With the weather coming in, sometimes that doesn't come into play.
Yeah. Usually when wet weather tires are put on the car, that mitigates any minimum number of laps or whatever that they have to run on each set of tires. It's Will Velkoff in the orange number 30. Wheeler out of West Islip, New York. Jake and Axel. Jake in the number 3. Axel in the 75. Both in 2015 Magalas.
Still getting a little squirrely.
Yeah, you can see them. They're hustling these cars through the toe of the boot.
So why is open wheel racing so important to racecraft?
I think the cars are probably more responsive than any sort of tin top car because they're so light, and so it's really the driver kind of becoming one with the car, and more so than you see in a bigger tin top type car. So I think the drivers like it for that purity, if you will, of connection between the car and the racetrack. It's kind of, race cars have, at least to me, have always been, I'm a big Formula One fan, so I've always been a big fan of single seaters and monopostos, as they're called, and so that's sort of the story that I hear, is that it's a great training ground basically, but it teaches you racecraft basically because for self-preservation, basically. As you said, wheel-to-wheel contact just doesn't happen in open-wheel cars. If it does happen, it's frequently disastrous. So you have to learn to have good situational awareness of where you are on the racetrack, where your car is, where your competitors' cars are, and that skill, I think, really adds a lot to racecraft, and especially in a class like this where these drivers will be able to run in close formation, lots of drafting. You learn when to make passing maneuvers, how to throw a dummy, how to do all the things that you learn to do to make passes in equal or very nearly equal machinery.
Checkered flag has been out.
Checkered flag has been shown for these drivers. There's a good shot of the 21 of Dave Petsko, one of our Masters competitors here. Good job for Steve Oseth, up to second amongst the Masters now, 8th quickest in that number 72 citation, the only citation in the field. But Boss Patel looks like he's going to have the honors for the quick lap of this session. Just two cars, Boss Patel and David Ybarra, under 2 minutes. At a 159.418 for Patel and a 4.64 for Ybarra, so just 46 thousandths separating those two. Christian Moniz, the series points leader, coming into this weekend. Third quick in the number 4. And Cooper Travis, another of the top 4 on the points table in 4th spot, with David Adorno as our quickest Masters driver in 5th position.
We're going to take a lunch break after this session, and then we're going to come back with Trans Am and GT qualifying, the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series qualifying, and then our first sprint race of the weekend, International GT. So that should be fun. We've got FRP Formula Atlantic F2000, FE2, and FRP F1600 practices.
But we kick off the afternoon with the second practice session for our FRP Formula Atlantic, Formula 2000, and FE2 drivers in a combined session. As you can see, the order for this practice session with Boss Patel and David Ybarra in the top 2 positions. Christian Moniz 3rd, Cooper Travis 4th, David Adorno, the lead Masters driver, in the 5th spot. Then Axel and Jake Leroy. Steve Oseth, another Masters driver, in the 8th spot. 9th is John P. Doyle. And then Joe Colasacco jumping into the 10th spot. Bob Reed in the 12th. Followed by the 9 of Connor Clubine, making his debut this weekend in the series. David Livingston, another of our Masters drivers, in the 85 in 12th. Phil Kingham, Scott Rebenzer, Will Velkoff, Dave Petsko, Michael Scanlon, and Robert Gross rounding out the field of the cars that turned to time. John Dole did not get a time in the number 8 Ray. So those of you following us on the stream, we will take a break here for lunch, and we'll be back with you with Formula Race Promotions, Formula Atlantics, Formula 2000s, FE2s at 1:10 Eastern Time, just over an hour from now. And like I said, we'll have a full afternoon of qualifying and a race coming up for International GT at 3:50. I'm John Phippen. He's Ben Sissel. We'll be with you this afternoon. Enjoy your lunch. We'll be back.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Haggerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Haggerty, let's drive together.